And we're live. Jamie, what's happening, brother man?
Tony, I don't know. What is happening?
Mopar stuff. It's
Dude,
like it's got like Mopar night.
it's you know what I did to celebrate Mopar night?
What did you do?
I bought a Studebaker.
I can't think of a better way.
I know.
It's going to be a
Actually,
Mopar powered Studebaker.
my friend said I should put the Hemi in it, but I don't want to do that.
The 426.
Yeah.
Dude, well, first let's say hello to everybody who's joined us tonight. We've already
Hello,
got some
everybody.
people in the room here. Los Cadaver, Adam A, Bill McKeisko, it's happening. Tavo, George Nemec, Greasy Garage. So a bunch of you guys. Those are the ones I can see right now. Can you see the side over here?
Yeah, I see comments, yeah.
You see the people?
Looks like we got 91 people out there so
Wow.
far. That was quick.
I can't believe there are still 91 Mopar people left.
Well,
We'd be
I
dying.
can believe it. They're all in the comments section all the time, so.
So, there's Charlie Roma. He was a part of the subject of yesterday's video.
Oh, right. Saw that.
So speaking of yesterday's video, I mentioned a Hemi build that I did 40
Yes.
friggin' years ago, right? Called
Yes.
Hemi and his Shoestring.
Right.
And you text me. What did you text me?
I texted you and said, Hemi on a shoestring. I'm trying to do the YouTube version of that. Maybe I should actually read the article.
But I wrote it, so why wouldn't you just ask
Call.
me?
Yeah. Well, what did you say when I told you I got a 426? You said something to the effect of, I hate those things. I
did.
absolutely hate them. I never want to see one again. If you have any questions, let me know.
But it's the truth. The problem with the 426 Hemi is that I know way too much about them, right? I've done way too many things with them, and I just don't ever want to see one again. Unfortunately, I'm building one for myself.
I know.
But I'll
I
hate
know-
it the whole
I-
time.
you will.
And then after I blow the freaking thing up, because they're all destined to do that,
Therein lies my first question for you.
yes.
Because I know a bit about the 426 Hemi, but why has every single one of them thrown a rod, notched a bore, and been welded back together? Every
Number
one of them.
6.
Is that where mine's at? Probably.
Yes. I'm telling you, it's number 6.
Okay.
Number
Okay.
6 rod when there's any oil issue at all, right? Starvation, cavitation, anything that happens, right?
Right.
Aeration. The number 6 main is the one that goes dry. Oh, I'm sorry. The number
Num-
4 main is the
Four
one that
main,
goes dry,
6 rod.
and it's just number 6 rod.
Gotcha. And they have and they were almost baked. The oiling problems were almost baked into that engine, right? With the big dynamic. I can't talk tonight.
Well, if you think about it, right, the top end,
Oversized pickup, feeding all that oil up to the top end, and
But
starting at the
that's
bottom.
all part of the reason why number 6, and it's not just Hemis, it's all big blocks, right?
right.
Because all the oil for the top end is taken from the number 6.
Mhm.
So it needs more volume than the other ones to keep the rods on either side of it happy. So when there's a problem, that's why number 6 is always the first to go.
Gotcha.
And then 7 right after that.
I've got a blown up 440, and now I got to check and see if it's number 6 in that one. I bet it is.
Well, I'm telling you, if it was an oil issue, it
Yeah.
always is. It
Yeah.
always is.
Huh.
Like as far as like blown up big blocks, I'm gonna say like out of probably the 100 that I've handled or actually
Right.
blown up myself over the course of the years,
That's where it was at.
75% of them had a problem with the number 6.
So the block's at the machine shop, and I got a pair of heads with it as well. I sent you a picture. I got most of an engine minus pistons, rods, rockers.
Okay.
So it took, and accessories and stuff. Took the block and the heads to our local machine shop. Yeah, they like Hemis, yeah. So they're my friend there, Dan. He's the head guy, and he dives right in on these Hemi heads because he's so excited. One of them is cracked almost all the way across, like all the way across a chamber and then some. They've both been repaired multiple times. The other one's only cracked a little bit. They weren't a
Okay.
matched set of heads. One of them's cut 40 thou more than the other one. They're junk.
What did I tell you? I told
Yes,
you you're gonna
yes.
find. But wait till you check the deck. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait till you
Oh,
check-
yeah.
Because you're gonna find if that engine was run by like stock and super stock guys,
Mhm.
okay, you're gonna find that when you go to put the heads on them, just to exaggerate, instead of the head sitting like this,
Yeah.
they're going to be sitting like this.
Right.
And you go to put the intake manifold on it, it's got to be sideways to fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been there, done it.
Yeah.
T-shirt.
Man,
And the super
yeah.
stock guys cut them to all these weird sizes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you'll find that the bores are like, so you can go a maximum factory 65 over, and then the NHRE will say that you can go, you have maximum factory 60 over, but the NHRE will say that you can go 5 over that. So you'll find that a lot of them are bored 65 over. Now try to find stuff to fit that bore. It's all custom made things, you know, and then they cut the decks like crazy to get the compression up without having a, so that's the problem with dealing with used Hemi stuff.
Oh yeah, it's all blown up junk. And it's
all
probably been blown up multiple times. I'm gonna do a video on this because you always hear, "Oh, it's an X-race motor. That's a race motor." Race motor doesn't mean, you know this. Race motor doesn't mean awesome. Race motor means destroyed. It means garbage, boogered together to keep going.
So with a very small percentage, okay, as far as like the 426 Hemi's place in the racing world, all right, with a very small percentage of cars that are in stock and super stock, okay, and I'm talking about like iron 426,
right?
Those things are all very fingerprint specific to the builder and the driver and everything else, okay. There's maybe, let's say, 300 of them active, right, in the world.
Yeah.
That's probably a fair number, something like that. Aside from that, they're extinct.
Right.
You know, so it's like, it's a race motor, but it's a very specific race motor. It's a very limited use race motor.
Yep.
And back in the day when they were used on a regular basis, they were literally just disposable. They were disposable engines. The guys that ran in Funny Car, Top Fuel, Pro Stock, and all of that, they were like, a few runs out of it, move, sweep it up, and put another one in.
Yep.
So they're a real nightmare. If you don't know what you're doing, or you don't have like a huge amount of money to spend, right?
So it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
But I'm going to build mine knowing this going in.
Right. Well, that's what I'm doing.
Everything I find is going to be junk. Everything I find is going to be basically blown up. And now I'm going to put it together in the name of blown up junk being sent down one more time.
So are we going to race? Because that's what I'm doing.
I'm not going to say what I want to do with that yet.
Okay.
It's going to go into the Belvedere.
I heard you say that.
It's going to go after the propane thing.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say exactly what I'm going to do with it yet.
Okay.
It'll be neat. It'll be neat. So wait, before we go any further, we were supposed to have the legendary Dave Hakim, formerly Hakim.
I was looking forward to meeting him.
Yes, we were supposed to have David Hakim, who just started a channel called Mr. Mopar's Neighborhood. Great name. I wonder where he got it from.
I like it.
So he was supposed to be with us tonight, and then at the last minute, I think he's having some like extra toes removed or something like that. So it's a health crisis, and he's not able to be with us. But he may pop in, and if he does, we'll just join him in there. But
awesome.
You and I haven't had any time together in a couple of months, so.
You never call, you never write. That's not true.
I call you occasionally.
Oh yeah.
You know,
more often than many family members actually.
You know why?
I'm caught up on your videos now, but I hadn't seen the one where you were talking about seasonal depression, and someone texted me and informed me that you had thrown in the towel on our.
Yes. So the 780, bro. I have
791, but yeah, twice.
791. I thought it went 780.
791. Yep.
Oh.
791.
Maybe I threw in the towel prematurely.
You might have.
I threw. Oh, jeez.
No, it went 7913 and 7915 or something like that. Oh. And it spit the rubber off the pinion snubber on the burnout on the second run. And somehow the 60-foot went down, so apparently some parts are extra. It was.
Yeah, it didn't want it.
I guess not.
What tires do you have on there? Radials or?
No, it's slick right now. 28 by 10.
What
29
kind of
by
tire
10.
you running?
Pretty high actually.
That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
So the pinion snubber works with a very soft sidewall
right, and because
situation, and smashes it into the pavement, right? But if
Right.
you've got a drag radial or a slick that's like a 16, 20 pounds of pressure in it,
Right.
then what it does is it bounces off of it. So in other words,
Mm.
the pinion snubber hits the floor, tries to lever the rear end down. The tires, the sidewall of the tire pushes
Right.
back up against it, and it doesn't allow the movement that it's supposed to.
You
But
know
if you run-
why I
Does that make
raised
any
the
sense?
pressure? Yeah, of course. And
Yeah.
and so why I raised my pressure to where it's at is because I was watching my launches before we raced, and I broke that axle. And it was smashing the tire into the ground, but it was smashing it so hard it looked like the rim was practically touching the asphalt.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, but the other, I had that horrible bog and it wouldn't get out of its own way, and changing the gear ratio kind of reset everything for me. But that's why I raised the pressure, because I was watching that and it was just bogging so hard. I wasn't getting a spin at all. And anyway, so
Well-
that's what I've been running with, and it works.
I threw in the towel because two reasons. The first is that something's I put the manual valve body in it, and
Yeah.
something isn't right. So I've been talking with John Cope back and forth. He's trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Mhm.
So that's one issue that I've got to deal with, and when I figure out what it is, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, I got to throw gears in it too. It's got 430s in it. I
Right.
got to throw the 486s in.
Yeah.
And I was ready to do that, and then we started running into the track's
Right.
not going to be
Yeah,
open
you're
now.
out of time.
So I've got one more test and tune session.
But
And
you're gonna run
I
the Jeep.
don't think I can get everything squared away with that car before
Yeah.
the test and tune session. And so I want to wrap up the year with Mission Improbable
Yeah.
at
No,
that.
I get it.
So at that point, I'm like, you won. And honestly, I mean, at 7, that car's gone as quick as an 812.
Right. No,
a
I knew
troubled
that was.
812.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It had issues.
Right.
But to confidently go out there and say, yes, it's going to
Yeah.
run deep in the 7s,
Right. You got stuff to
No,
work out. Yeah.
not this time.
Yeah.
So you won, my friend. And you
No, I get
earned
it.
that car running in the 7s, what you have in it.
What
is-
did Dr. Art, because he called it when I was there. He was like, did he say 790s or did he say 8? I don't remember what he said, but he said, I think if everything was right, it would be here. And I think I went there or beat it. I didn't expect it to be in the 790s.
I didn't expect it either.
And there's more there, dude.
I figured 18s, 820s like that,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was fairly confident that I would be able to get a 790, 799 out of Slagheimer.
Yeah.
But again, bro, you won this. And like I said, the fact that car runs the way it does, sounds the way it does, you won.
Dude.
And
Oh, I'm happy.
I got no problem conceding to that. It was just
Yeah.
like when Dr. Art built that electric go-kart. I was supposed
Right.
to race him with one of my mini bikes, right?
And
And it was like, I go over to his house, and he's like, here, watch this. And he gets on this
yeah.
thing, and he goes, like the Jetson. And I was like, you won.
yeah.
I got nothing for that.
White Trash Motorsports, what's up?
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
what's going on, guys, over here on the side? We've got Dickie Farley, JD Sharp,
Scoop is here, of course.
Jeff from Two Hacks is here. What's happening, brother, man?
Yo.
White Trash Motorsports, Scoop. So you guys have anything you want to talk about or ask Jamie about or berate me over? Just, please jump in there. And Jamie, can you highlight?
I
Comments
can't
on
highlight
this one?
comments, no. For some reason that never works, but yeah.
Thumper is saying, so now we are racing blown up junk. Dude, the
Yeah,
only thing I've
we're-
ever
we
raced my whole
always-
life is blown up junk.
Ooh, I have questions for you. This could have
have
been a
answers
phone
here.
call. This could have been a phone call, but we're in a live stream now. So, okay, my 273, which you've already told me won't do what I wanted to, and I'm sure you're right, but I'm still gonna try.
Okay.
You're running 920 heads on bottle racket, correct?
Yes.
Close chamber 273. Did you just do your classic basic port job, or did you enlarge them to like 360 size?
Well, you can't really go 360.
Well, you can't go that big. Did you enlarge them at all, or did you just give it a clean up and?
Yes, it has a caveman. So remember now, purpose.
Yeah.
We built it for purpose. So the purpose is it's going to suck on a nitrous bottle,
Right.
right? So with that, finesse be damned. Make everything as big and everything as smooth as possible, and don't worry about the throat area and blah, 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 blah. Just hog it and make it go. And as you can see, it
works.
works really well.
Yeah.
You can't go to the 360, like when I say can't go to 360 size, the mouths of the ports are open to the 360 size, but it still
Right.
pinches way down.
Yeah, right.
And on 2 of the pushrod pinches, I broke through and had to weld an epoxy.
Yeah.
So
I'm not afraid to do that if it comes
yeah,
to it.
don't be
you know.
afraid of it. Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Not at all. This is a purely race deal. I don't. Yeah, it's for science. You know, I'll grind through whatever needs ground through. Okay, yeah, that was my big question. And you're running stock valve sizes, aren't you? Or
Yeah.
did you go bigger? Okay.
No, I ran the stock valve size. At the time, I wanted to just see what could be done. Like, I
Right.
know it would run better if I had bigger valves in it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see what it would do, feeding it a bunch of hose and just
Yeah.
see what the stock valve size would
Right.
do. And as it turns out, I mean, honestly, that engine, I mean, you've seen what it does. You
Oh,
see
yeah.
what it sounds like. You see what it
Oh,
runs
yeah.
like.
Oh
So,
yeah. If
it-
my deal ended up
750
anything like
in the
that,
tires, all the way through first, diagonally black tracking across the track.
double wheelie.
Double wheelie, right? And that was not on a maximum shot
Uh-huh.
because I knew the track wasn't going to hold a big
Right.
shot.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So that was about a third of the nitrous
Gotcha.
that I can run through it.
Nice.
So,
So my deal is because I'm a 273, so the bore is this big,
yes,
and so I'm running small valves. I've heard of people putting J heads on them and notching the bores, and I don't want to do that. It doesn't make sense to me.
no,
And so
you can notch the bore, but the bore is still out.
yeah,
I can explain to you. It's like the center of action of the valve is still way over on the side.
right.
So
It's
even
not a
if you
good
notch
match.
the bore, you still have lots of places for the fuel and everything to fall out of suspension. You know what I mean?
Right.
Would be dragged out of
Yeah.
suspension.
I don't think there's much to gain there. So I think trying to keep everything sized to the 273 just maximized essentially.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thinking.
Well, think about it, right? You look how good those valves work on the 318 size,
That's what I'm saying.
right? So
Yep.
now imagine proportionately how they
Right.
work on a 273.
They got to be plenty big. That's exactly
What
it.
you're dealing with are the same. You're dealing with now the same proportion as a 340 with 4-inch with
Right.
with
With the
two.
two. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Where it's coming
Exactly.
right. The edge of the valve is right there at the edge of the chamber. They
Yep.
put the 202s in those X heads because that's as wide as you can get the chamber
Right.
at 4-inch plus 40, which is as wide as you can get the bore without going into that like factory cushion that they put in there for overboring. Because all of the Chrysler engines were designed for a 60 overbore.
Mhm.
So a 4-inch plus 40, 4100 is the maximum total bore.
Right.
But at 4-inch plus 40, on it with a 202 valve, the valve literally comes to where it's just kissing the cylinder, it's about to kiss the cylinder
Right.
wall.
It's right there. Wow.
So the 318 valves and the 273 bore have that same proportion.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Go baby go.
That's where I'm going. The part of this I still haven't. Oh, the block is at the machine shop with the Hemi. It doesn't have nearly as well. I haven't heard back on that block yet, but I'm hoping it'll clean up at 60. And it turns out Eggy is making the D-Dart, 12.5 to 1 273 piston in a 60 over. So I guess I'm gonna get those.
But you're using the closed chamber heads, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
that piston is matched to that chamber shape, correct? Isn't it?
I'm not familiar with the piston.
I gotta double check. It's a weird dome, but it was designed for that head. That's the only 273 head at that time.
Well, yes. Well, Eggy would.
It's not the
would-
920, but it's the I need to do some more reading on it, but that's my understanding. Is they use the closed chamber head with that dome piston, and I did kind of match them up once. I think it works.
So no, it'll be. And what's that going? That's going in.
Barracuda, 66 Barracuda. Not quite on like a Plan Z diet, but definitely on a diet, lightweight, stripped, go fast.
Light is right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what we got going on here. Kim, fix this thing. What's happening? Kim, I haven't seen you or Buff in a long time. Jimmy Hat, my dad has a yellow rotor and he's an absolute Mopar guy. Well, is he here?
Should
This
be.
is the time and the place where you've got people with sickness
Your
right
comments
now.
look so bubbly and exciting.
Now that's interesting. Travis Moore says Mars was nuked due to Xenon 129 findings, and I
You
have
would
a hard
know,
time
brother.
arguing with that. I have a very hard time arguing with that. This is a good one. Vilefly, either of you guys ever tried building a flow bench with a wet vac machine and a mass airflow sensor? It doesn't have to be calibrated. It just has to show the numbers that show you what you have done.
Big brain time.
Have you thought
But
about
no.
that? Because I have never really
No.
thought about that.
No, I don't care what the numbers are.
Yeah, see, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
You know, I feel like I used to explain this to people. I've never, before the last like 2 years and watching way too many of your videos, maybe 3 years, I've never built stuff for horsepower. Like, almost never. But I am now, and I enjoy it. But anyway,
You know, here's the thing, right? Numbers are great. How do you make this go away now?
click on it again. Click
Oh,
on
all I
the
do is
same-
make it. I just made it huge.
Well, don't do that. Click on the same comment again. It'll go away.
Oh, here, I'll just click on a smaller comment. There you go.
That works
Zero.
too.
What's happening? Zero.
Zero. What's up?
What was I going to say? What the hell were we going to say?
Building
So-
numbers. Yeah.
So, then only in my mind, I don't care about dyno numbers. They mean
No.
nothing to me. And I don't care about flow bench numbers. They mean nothing to me.
I am going to dyno the Demon. I'm going to chassis dyno the Demon.
Okay.
So when I lay out, this is the budgetest 360 you could possibly build, and you can, and it's easy to replicate. Don't pick that cam. It's stupid, but everything else is great. And this is the number. Just because. But with the knowledge that I didn't plan to ever do this or build it for a number. So if it's unimpressive, it is what it is. But you see what it can do.
Yeah. Well,
Just to bring in a little bit of science. I've never done it before. Just once.
There's nothing wrong with it, right? But
Right.
in my mind, the only dyno that really counts is the drag strip.
Right.
And too many people there's too much weight put on dyno numbers.
Right.
Because what makes X amount of horsepower on the dyno,
Mm-hmm.
now you put it in a car, now it's in a dynamic
Right.
atmosphere.
Where is it making that power on the dyno? Is it in a rev range where your car never ever goes?
Wait.
Is it? Yeah.
It's not what the peak number is.
Mhm.
It's all in the numbers under the curve
Well, yeah.
and how it attacks the curve.
Mhm.
It's like, for instance, right? You've got an engine that's super aggressive, at between like 5 and 7,000 RPM, right?
Yeah.
It's got all the suds there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you're tuning for stuff. Everybody's looking for those
Yeah.
numbers. Oh, I have an
Big
800
number.
horsepower motor.
Big number.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, but if the thing is so crippled downstairs,
Yeah,
if you've got
it
the
won't do a burnout.
open, and you've got everything open and the cam open, and you have no velocity, low end
Right.
velocity, you have no
Yep.
low end compression,
Yep.
and this thing's a beast upstairs. Well, it will never. Well, it takes forever for it to climb to that number.
Right.
So you can actually, and I've seen this happen time and time again, where somebody will take a 400 horsepower engine, okay, and now they drop in something that dynoed it like 850 horsepower, and it goes
slower.
and quicker, or it even slows down.
Yeah.
Because the motor doesn't climb to where it's to that peak as easily. So
Yep.
if the rest of the combination isn't up to it, if the tires,
That's what
and the
it's all
converter,
about.
and the gear,
Yep.
and the fuel system, and everything else, then it's pointless. Those numbers mean nothing.
Yep.
Then you've got all of the variables of, let's say, airflow. And so I don't know why this just popped into my head, but it's like just an example, right? Jenkins, when they first went to the snorkel scoops, people were trying snorkel scoops. He put a snorkel scoop on his car, and it slowed down, and he couldn't figure out why. And it was because the way the air was coming through the snorkel was creating a low pressure area over the carburetors.
Right, pulling it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it took a lot of finessing and getting things just right, because that scoop from one frontal area car to another frontal area car is going to have a different reaction. And so that's why dyno numbers mean nothing to me. It's what does it do when you stick it in the car, load it down.
Completely agree.
And send it.
Yep. And putting together engines that work that way, work where we need them to. That's the trick, not a number. Eric Swenson asked if the long cross rams fit on a 440. Yes, absolutely they do. Would it be a good setup for a truck? It's kind of. It would be cool. I mean, what RPM do those tune in at again?
Right around 3,000, between like 3,000 and 4,500, I think, are the numbers.
Yeah.
Call it between 2,500 and 4,500. Okay, it's that mid-range.
Working range, yeah.
They were designed for passing power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? They were designed so that you didn't have to downshift or anything, right? You just lay into it and they go and yank you, they suck you from 50 to like 85 miles an hour. That's what they're there for. Yeah, they're very good on a very good match for a truck. They'll fit on a 440. They'll fit on a 383. They'll fit on a 361. The only difference is the length of the balance
the crossover tube. Balance tube. Yeah.
Right. And you do need the balance tube, or they don't work quite right. Let's see. Watsonda is saying short 5,600 and long 2,800.
I thought they were a lot closer than that.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
It's only a 6-inch section split. It's about 6 inches, right? It's the section that's different between them. It can't be that different.
No.
I thought it was like 4,200 and 4,800 or something like that, but I don't know. I'm not an expert.
I do not know. AJ Tipar. That's AJ Tipar. What type of intake is recommended for a stock 318 with a whiplash cam?
A stock 318 with a whiplash?
That's what it's made for.
Yeah.
The whiplash is a 107 grind that's 7 degrees up. You drop it in there, it's already 7 degrees up. So it's designed for a low compression 440.
Right.
I'll call it 318 rather, and they work.
I've never messed with one, I don't think.
I had one in a 273 for a while, and it had a what manifold was on that? That has stock 273 4-barrel on it.
I mean, 318, your small ports, you're not going to put anything big on there anyway. I mean, it's all about the port velocity. You don't need a big, gigantic intake. I mean, performers are great, but there's a ceiling to that.
Edelbrock Performer is probably the manifold you can't go wrong with.
Any 318, that is what I'm doing. The one I'm putting together for that 68 notchback on the channel, Performer. That's what we're doing. It's going to be great.
If you want a single plane, the Street Dominator.
But you don't.
I like single planes.
Streetcar, man.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Look at how many factory cars. The factory 273 was a single plane.
Very true. And I do have to back up and remember seat of the pants test with a Torker manifold on a 440 single plane Torker, right?
Yeah.
And what did we take off? I don't even remember. It was some dual plane manifold. It can't have been a stock one. I don't remember what it was, but the Torker works very well, and it's a single plane. So okay, fine. You're not wrong. I always go for the dual plane, always.
Well, Jamie, that is why I make the big box.
Yeah, that's true.
Tyler Rafferty's 2001 Mercury transmission just quit. Now I'm fixing up my 68 New Yorker for daily driving. There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Mo party.
Yeah. Did you get the flashing overdrive light of death? God, I hate those things.
Jimmy Hatt wants to know, what do you think of a 4-barrel carb with vacuum secondary is good for an everyday driver?
Well, yeah.
It's the best choice for an everyday driver.
Okay. I think the best choice is...
go with a Holly.
Thank you. Yeah. You knew where I was going.
That's why I had to jump in there and beat you.
You knew where I was going.
I'm smarter than you.
Yeah. I'm not worthy. You probably were a big part of converting me over to the Carter Edelbrock way of thinking, but also just experience. Like, I've done a lot of miles with Holley vacuum secondaries like that, and God, the Carter design is just so much better in every way. Every way.
Yes, Jimmy Hatt. So your answer, we both have the same opinion, right? An Edelbrock / Carter style carburetor is a better choice for a daily driver. Yep. If you're going to go with a Holley, a vacuum secondary carburetor is probably a best choice because it makes up for a lot of sins.
Yes, yes, it does.
You see what I'm saying? It makes up for a lot of sins. So if you're going with a Holly, yes, vacuum secondary, but preferably to the Holly for a street car.
Yep.
For a street car, okay, Edelbrock or Carter. If it's a race car that requires more than 800 CFM, then a Holly is your only choice.
Only way. Did you ever see that? You've seen 318 Will Run's channel, right? Another Mopar guy?
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. Did you see his brand new Holly out of the box, brand new Edelbrock out of the box, back-to-back drag test?
I did not.
Pretty eye-opening.
So what was the results?
Damn near identical.
Really?
Like, almost exactly identical.
So it was the
I can't remember the extent of it.
600 Edelbrock, that sort of thing?
It was something like that. I can't remember exactly how. I just remember watching it, and the number was the same. Like, the same. But I don't remember the particulars. I don't remember which models or what CFMs or... Yeah.
Huh, interesting. I'm gonna have to
But it was neat. And it made me...
318 run. I like him. I like his attitude.
Yeah. No nonsense over there.
Granny's Blue Waffle wants to know if 318 heads will fit on his 2JZ.
I wanted to know if 4/6 of your 2JZ head would fit on my 318, but...
Well, the
Guess we'll
318
never
heads
know.
will definitely fit on your 2JZ. I have no question that they will fit on the 2JZ.
Yeah.
Now, listen, none of the cylinders are going to line up. None of the bolts are going to line up. You want any way to operate the push rods or anything like that. So, yes, there are going to be some fitment issues, but they will go on there.
You know, multiple times in my life, and one of these was 2 days ago, I've been on Google searching insert engine family bore spacing.
Okay.
And the one I was just doing, have you ever, you know, Chrysler and Mitsubishi had a love affair for many, many years.
Yes.
You know, I have a 1981 Dodge Challenger, which is actually a Mitsubishi Galant. It's 2.6 liter. They're Hemi. They're
one of the best motors ever.
The long stroke, big displacement 4-cylinder.
That was one of the most reliable, flexible motors they ever built.
Yeah, they were in tons of trucks and little SUVs and in those cars. Anyway, but they're a Hemi head. And so I got to thinking, God, these heads aren't very expensive. I wonder if they fit on a small block. But it's way shorter. It's not even close. Which is surprising for that big of a displacement 4-cylinder. But
I bet you they would come close.
Dude, they even have this. I mean, it's 4 bolts per cylinder. It's like, it looks the same, but it's downsized. Close fitting one.
Check the bore spacing of that Mitsubishi motor with the bore spacing of a Dodge Hemi.
I did.
What is it?
They're still way bigger than the Mitsubishi. I was surprised by that. I thought the little baby Hemi, I thought it would be closer, but it really isn't.
Well, Toyota built an exact copy of that motor.
I know. I remember that. That's cool.
Let's see what we got. Mark Sauvé saying anything will fit, depends how much money you want to spend. Yeah, well.
How fast you want to go, son?
I mean, how you can literally build a cylinder head out of welding wire if you really, if you're that. You know what I mean? If you're that.
There was a Hemi block just like the one you bought. Like, just like the one you bought. In fact, maybe not even as bad as the one you bought, but almost as bad. And the bottom of, let's just say number 6, wasn't there anymore. And it was, it was for sale for like a couple grand or something. And everybody was laughing at this guy because there's nothing to put a sleeve in. Well, yeah, there is if you're willing to put it there. Like, it's just metal. That's all it is.
That's what I'm doing with that. The whole bottom of that bore is
weld
missing.
wire.
And I've already formed. I've basically formed out, but I want to build up enough around it so that when the
machinist puts
sleeve
in
goes in there, it really has something to grip onto. And then I'm going to fill it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to run it on stuff that doesn't really need a cooling system.
Cool.
So
I like it.
2J
Slant 6. You have no idea how many hours of my life have been wasted trying to think up some way to either build a crossflow Slant 6 head or source one. You have no idea how much I've thought about that.
There is only one way it can be done. Period. The end. Overhead cam. You have to do what Pontiac did, and you have to create an overhead cam situation.
Yeah, fine. No problem.
But when you're done, right, then
What do you
exactly
have?
do you have?
You don't have a slant 6 anymore.
It's not a slant 6 anymore.
So if that's what you want, just swap in the 2J and get it over with. And that's why I say I've thought about it a lot.
You thought about it a lot. Please, I circumnavigated that every way you could possibly.
And have you thought about how to put two together as a V12? I'm sure you have.
Yes, I've looked at that. Did you see the Garage 54 video?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Those guys.
I love those guys.
Those guys make me feel like a silly little girl.
I know.
Right? You know, it's like, yeah, well, let's just stick these 2 4-cylinders together. They built this V-shaped cradle for them.
Yeah.
The crankshaft. Did you see the crankshaft they made?
Uh-huh. What was the last one I watched from them? They did that. They built that crazy like V16 out of
the chainsaws.
Yeah, they did that. God, what was the other one? They
Which that Lotto with the stretched nose.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. It looks like an AI. Like it's so cool though.
That was badass.
Oh God, the last one I watched from them, they put what did they do? Did they put a manual transmission behind a? Did they put an automatic behind a clutch? They did something goofy like that.
I didn't watch that video.
It was
weird. I saw that.
George Nemec said, Jamie, you got it. What distributor springs do you usually use on your big block trucks? I left everything stock on that one I did today. It's a truck. You don't. The lazy gradual factory ignition curve is useless for almost any purpose but a truck. When you're hauling around a bunch of weight, like having a curve that actually works the way they designed it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't usually mess with springs much.
If I'm screwing around with a stock engine and I do want to speed up the curve a little bit, I just do the classic pop off the heavy spring.
Yeah.
You know, it always works. You know what I mean? You have to make sure if you do that, you have to make sure that the top part of the distributor, you know, the part that pivots,
returns,
you have to make sure it's really free.
Like,
Take it apart, lube everything, clean it. When you lube it like with like a light oil, like a 3-in-1 oil. They don't have 3-in-1 oil anymore, but that's going on.
I have a bunch, but anyway.
Thing of it.
Yeah. I think everyone in America has a can of 3-in-1 oil.
Yeah, and then just pop the heavy spring off. Mm-hmm. But what he's saying is for most purposes, or for like
a truck especially,
it's fine.
You're hauling weight, like you don't want all that advance coming in right now. I have found there is value in having a timing curve in certain applications.
Agreed.
But almost every engine wants more base advance than it got. Far from a stock engine. Oh, he removed the heavy spring. Well, there you go.
Okay. Connor Lake Havasaw.
Yes.
Would Jamie's steering wheel rally or if his 68 Charger fit my 74 Duster? I've noticed that 69 Barracudas have the same wheel.
It's not a rally wheel, it's the wood grain wheel, the optional wood grain wheel, and it could be had on many models. Charger's one, yes, Barracuda's another. They redesigned the column when they added the key. Are there size differences at the back there? Yeah, so it might fit, like it might spline, but I don't think it would actually match your column shape.
It'll definitely spline. Spline is
okay, I thought, but the body of the column is bigger on those later ones. So if it lines up front to back, and I'm not 100% on that either, you'll probably be looking around it into the guts of your column.
Yep.
On the Grant,
what you could do, okay, and I've done this. So you cut off on the steering wheels like that is 70. So pre-70, you've got on the column, on the dashboard.
The key went on the column.
Yep. So what I have done in using earlier steering wheels on later steering columns is just use the like the aftermarket steering wheels, like the Grant.
The Grant. That's what I was just gonna say. Yeah.
They come with that adapter.
Mm-hmm.
That cover, and that works just fine.
Yep. Yeah, there's two sizes of the Grant wheel adapter, and I have had the wrong one on a car, and I distinctly remember looking into the steering column all the time because it didn't cover it.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Rob's Clark saying they still sell 3-in-1 with a plastic container now. I have one that's like from the 1940s because nobody used a drop at a time.
I have a metal tin that's got to be 20, 25 years old, and then I have one of those plastic ones.
Barrows is saying a can of 301 oil sitting next to a can of WD-40 should be a requirement for U.S. citizenship.
Yep.
That's how I've always determined whether you're a true American or not.
Yep. Rooster, what's up? Jamie's here. How strange is that? What's happened before?
It's not very strange. We've gotten together before.
It's only kind of strange. Remember that time we did a video together and you ripped your pants?
Yeah. My dog sitter Doris repaired them.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that was nice. I met Doris. She was cool.
Yeah, so we came home and I changed my pants and Kathy was, you ripped his pants. So
They were like new pants.
with her. She brought them home and she fixed them and they're better than new.
Nice. That's
So,
awesome. Way to
I'm
go,
ready to
Doris.
go.
Nice.
Um,
Nice. Never heard of 3-in-1 oil? There's the door.
It doesn't spend all that time with those Pontiacs, man. I don't know, one thing has to do with the other, but... let's see.
Teach Jamie about the 67 440 with 915s. Why would I need to be taught
Why
about
would
that?
I have to teach him that? He could probably teach
Familiar.
me.
Well, I don't know about all that, but now 1 year only 440 head with a closed chamber. It's
Don't
good.
you hate that 915, though? Isn't that so confusing?
Because of the 516, the closed chamber,
Because of the 360.
and then the later 915, the small block head. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
so
obnoxious.
the 67 440 is the only one that ever gets referred to as the 67 440, as opposed
Right.
to 906
Nine-
and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Because of the 915, which
That
is...
makes
you say
sense.
915, people...
It bugs me because I don't think I'm dyslexic, but the closed chamber early big block hit is the 516. They're like mid 60s,
Yeah.
383, 361. That's the 516, and I always would go 915, 516. It's which is which. I don't
Yeah.
know. I got it now, but it took years. Dougster, the Dougster is
Did you know
here.
that they actually did make big valve 516 heads for the 1 year?
I'm not surprised to learn that, but I didn't know.
Yeah, 66.
I used to have 516s and 361 cores and 383s everywhere at my old shop. There was a whole bench that was just 361s and 383s and blocks and 4 or 5 sets of 516 heads. I scrapped almost all of it because you
That's
can't
just
keep them all.
You know that.
I know. I still have one 361 crank and one set of heads and one complete two complete 361s. Actually.
When I was moving out of the shop, the last shop, I needed to downsize. I needed
You
to
were
get rid
dumping
of stuff.
tons of stuff, yeah.
So I had, I had stacks of cylinder heads and blocks and everything else, and I was selling them like, I'd list a set of heads for like, $50, and then somebody would come and they'd buy the heads. I'm like, wait, I have extra for you, and they'd leave like 4 sets of heads.
Yeah. Transmission fluid and acetone. That's weasel piss. That's a good one.
That's what they used to call me in junior high school.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Yeah, it hurt my feelings. I cried a lot.
You do seem like the sensitive type.
Oh yeah, please. Are you kidding me? I feel everything. Good Lord. Let's see. We've run out of things to.
Huh? There are no things.
I'm
That's
just going
weird.
through the comments to see what we might have
Yeah.
missed, and no, we haven't missed anything.
I'll be damned.
It's a shame Hakeem could not be with us tonight.
That's unfortunate. You've
Yeah. Have you ever
mentioned
met him?
me-
You ever talked to
No,
him?
you've mentioned him to me multiple times, and I was looking forward to it.
Well, he does the Dodge Garage.
The what now?
The Dodge Garage.
What's that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've seen that pop up on the internet, and I'm confused.
Well, that's Chrysler. He's worked for Chrysler,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Stellantis now, and now
Right.
he's wanting to, join us in YouTube land.
Yeah,
So-
everybody's doing it,
Everybody, right?
dude. Everybody. Dakota's
thing is-
timeout.
These establishment people, I
Yes.
don't want to say who they are, right? But the
Nah, we
establishment
know who
people-
they are. Yeah,
We know who they are, right?
we know who they are.
They come in, they have a whole different expectation of what YouTube is and how it works and everything. And I don't see a lot of them lasting very long, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. Dakota's timeout would like to be a Mopar nut job.
Firefly, ever use the aspirin trick, Tony? Wedge an aspirin pill into a thermostat to hold it open to quickly burp the cooling system.
And then it'll dissolve.
I know. I just automatically drill a hole.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to drill a hole in every single like Toyota or Ford thermostat. Or, so I've always just left a path for the air to leave and filled the system, and then there is no burping. I mean, I leave a heater hose off, leave a temp sensor out on the Cummins, take a plug out, anything. You know, just something up at the top of the system, fill it, plug it, connect it, away you go.
Yep.
I don't mess with that burping stuff anymore. We had Just Mopar Joe on once.
Yeah, the last time we were on, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, if
I can text him.
Was out here, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Tell him to jump in.
I'll text him. I love that guy.
Noah, Tony got the Harley fixed. Congratulations. Adjusted the clutch pack and cables, changed the fluids. Works great. Excellent. Dakota's goal is to have a Charger next year.
Admirable goal.
What year Charger, Dakota?
He said 68 to 70.
You have to be an aristocrat to have one of those cars these days.
Is that a fact?
Yes.
Did you know I have two?
I know.
Friggin' elitists. I know. I watched your video about that.
I think I have a picture. Hey, Carrot, where's that picture of me with the Charger? There's the picture of me with the Charger in the driveway. Yeah, it's okay. Where is it? Yeah, I got one picture of my first car.
Right, I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah. They
Well,
probably haven't, though.
Haven't.
Yeah. Troy Benson, do you have a go-to 440 build with certain factory parts? Well, yeah, almost all of the factory parts.
You really know why.
I mean, yeah, like, God, you always see people trying to get a hold of 906 heads when they already have 452 heads that are, like, great. You know, pistons if you've got a low compression engine. Purple shaft cam, torque or intake.
Oh.
Done.
So this is from, like, around, what year is this, about 1980? Yeah, this is like from 1979 or 1980. It's really dark. So that's me, 50 pounds lighter, and my first car, the 69 Charger. Well, the first car I built. That's the first car I built.
Right. There was a question to challenge your supermind. From Clayton's Toolbox. Hey, Tony, is there ever a time when having a heavy crankshaft is an advantage? If so, when?
Circle track. Circle track. Anytime that you need to keep the... anytime that you need to reduce power but keep everything moving, that's when you want to have...
Flywheel weight.
Right. It's never good in any type of acceleration application. So in drivability, so one of the reasons that like the Slant 6 has like this ridiculously way crazy overweight crankshaft because the crank is 80 pounds. The reason it has that is because back when that engine was released, 1959, 1960, designed in 59, released 1960, they didn't have a synchronized 3-speed. They had a non-synchro 3-speed. So you couldn't conveniently downshift from second to first. So if you're creeping along down the road there, you couldn't easily downshift to accelerate. So they had the heavy crankshaft on there so that if you had to slow down a little bit and rather than downshifting, you could just kind of like ease back into the gas and everything was already moving like that and the car would accelerate smooth.
Have you ever driven like a 55 Plymouth with a flathead and a 3 on the tree?
Yes.
I had one for a time. First gear is almost extra because of that, and the gearing helps. Dude, you can damn near stop in second gear, never touch the clutch, and just take off. It's amazing.
Yep.
But that's why.
So, wait, Fubar, the amazing Fubar. Just put up a link to my merch. So UncleTony'sGarage.com. We have our all of our usual stuff, and we have mugs now.
Oh yeah, I need one of those.
Yes, I will. Kathy, I'll get some out to you, as well as the mods and Fubar. Also, the ever helpful and amazing Fubar put up a link to your channel, Dead Dodge Garage. So if you're not familiar with Jamie, which I can't imagine how any Mopar person could not be familiar with Jamie by now,
at this
go
point,
over there and sub to his channel and like and ring the bell and obey and
do all the
follow
stuff.
all of his rhetoric and propaganda.
Hey, I also have a merch store, and it's really easy to find because it's at deaddodgegarage.com.
There you go.
And you click the button that says merch. Sell pretty nice hats and shirts.
Okay, let's see. Going through here. Thank you, Fubar. Why are C bodies not sought after?
They are by certain parties. Like the Hergerts.
Pre-C bodies are very sought after.
I bought one.
Was that?
I bought one.
Yes. So
It's
you
got
have
more
to.
doors, but it's like.
Oh, there you go.
Ah.
So you have to understand that the lettering system didn't come about until 1962. So what was the full size or the standard size car was actually the C body. When
It
they
was the
introduced
only
the
body.
Valiant in 1960, still wasn't an A body and it still wasn't a C body. They didn't start the lettering system until 1962 when they introduced the mid-size cars. So then you had the A body, B body, C body. So pre-C body C bodies are forward look cars, very sought after, extremely sought after. And then you get to the later ones. And why aren't they sought after? I don't know. I honestly don't. They make such great drivers.
There are hardcore fans for C bodies out there in the universe. I've met a good few of them, but they're not. They don't have the like brawny muscle car appeal of our B bodies, and they don't have the mini muscle punky, sweet lines of the A body. It's just a big giant boat, and even when they have muscle car horsepower, they're fun, but they just don't have the same appeal.
My friend Gary French has a factory 383 4-speed,
Nice.
4-door Fury, 68 Fury.
That's the 444.
Yeah,
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
He's
Tom
been
Herger
out
used to own that.
from the thing.
Nice.
War goes to saying, guys, I've noticed the C-body market appears to be crashing. They're driving big block cars for $3,000, not selling around me.
I got news for you. Everything on the bottom end of the market has been doing that for the last several months. Any tin grill truck, swept line truck, anything that's like on the bottom end of desirability for classics, you can buy as many of those as you want right now. Chargers and high-end cars are still up here, but yeah, you could buy a lot of C bodies.
The common man who would be buying a typical like driver type of C-body or anything right now is being
This is the time.
crushed.
Well, that's true too. And so people are unloading them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
I mean, you could probably, like, if you were adventurous, right, and please, not in the name of taking advantage of other people's misfortunes, but if you
Fordham,
want to
speculate on the market. Yeah.
You want to speculate on the market, go to North Carolina, go to Florida. There are thousands of cars, flood cars, and potential projects and things that people are going to have to just abandon because they don't have a house anymore or they don't have a town anymore. So you're actually helping some of these people out by buying what they need. There's going to be some huge deals out there.
Archie Guitars. Oh, future hardtop would die for a 71 Sport Fury. I would love a 70 Sport Fury GT. I think they're beautiful cars, but damn, they're big. Speaking of which,
I have a 6-pack on mine.
Dude, hold on. Hold that thought. Archie Guitars said, a C-body won't fit in my garage. I got a 55 Imperial, and I literally have nowhere to put it. I don't know what I'm going to do. You're familiar with the 6-pack. The ultra rare, the rarest muscle era, the muscle car, the six-pack Sport Fury
Sure.
GT.
Yeah, 12 of them, right?
66, I believe.
That
Supposedly.
many?
I think so, or maybe it's 53. I thought it was 50-ish. Maybe I'm
Oh,
mixing
wait.
that up.
It might be 12 survivors.
Yeah, there's not many left, and I know where at least one of them is because
There was one.
yeah.
I know that they're super rare because somebody, one of
Yes.
them popped up. That was a few years ago, and I was
I
like,
know where that one was.
You know,
Black
you know
one?
the one I'm talking about. That had
Black
the whole
one?
front end destroyed off of it.
Yep.
Okay.
There were two that fit almost exactly that same description in a building at Rocket for a time.
Really?
No longer, but yes. Yeah, the one that was for sale, has that been 2 years now? It went to New York, but it was here.
I would have to have that just to pass cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm kind of like a long ram setup, where if I had a car like that, all I would do is just roll
Go out and
along the
pass
interstate
people.
at 65 all day, pulling up on people, and just,
Nice.
going around them.
Oh, yeah. C-body people. So Trev, that works at Rocket there where I work in Olympia, he owns that six-pack car, black 70 Sport Fury GT six-pack. He also owns the one Hurst convertible. I think we talked about that before.
Yeah.
The one that Linda Vaughn, farted in the seat or whatever. And you could actually see video of him with it, and I think it was at McCacken like 6-7 years ago, something like that. But anyway, it's pretty cool. I've never seen that one.
Junkyard D, something Mopar brethren, what's happening?
Yo, how's it going?
Let's see.
Bigger is better. Well, bigger is bigger.
John Sanchez got lucky enough, picked up a 70 Super B 446 tack with a 4-speed, sat in a warehouse for over 20 years on jack's hands. Car's still in great shape, got it for a very good price. Congratulations.
Awesome.
That is a premium car, bro.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really nice car.
Tom's got a 446 pack 70 Roadrunner, but it's an automatic.
There's something about a 70 Super B, though.
Yes, there is.
You know what I mean?
That's the one I would pick. But
That's right, exactly, yeah.
yeah. I think I saw McLovin in here a bit ago. He doesn't have a Super B, but he does have a 70 two-door Coronet, and, well, I've asked him. I'd like to own it. Let's just
the
say
ultimate
that.
C-body.
The Bluesmobile! I have one. It's over there. I did a video on a replica one, which I tried to get running. Had weird timing chain issues.
Buff Del Campo is in the house. What's happening, Buff? He's just lurking.
Nice.
Yes. Buff the lurker.
Junkyard D is pulling a 727 out of a 66 Valiant. That doesn't belong there.
What is he pulling out?
A 727
Out of a
66 Valiant.
How'd you fit it in there?
They don't fit well.
They
Our
don't fit at
63. They fit. Our 63 wagon had one, but not good. Not good. We had a 63 Valiant wagon that had a 360 and a 727, and they had cut the firewall and covered it with duct tape.
Thank you. Okay.
And the 727 fit, but it was, I can't remember what part is like, is it on the floor or is it wasn't, it's not good. I took it out, I put a 904 in it. But it was in there.
It would be physically impossible to remove the transmission while bolted to the engine.
Oh, because of the firewall thing?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't.
Well, think about it, right? Think of the 727. Think about how the case. So on a 904, the case narrows down immediately, right? And on a 727, it takes its sweet time coming back. And the floor pan on an early A body,
car.
right? You can't get at the bolts.
What did I pulled the drivetrain out complete, so I wouldn't know. But
yeah, you'd have to.
I can tell you, it does not fit well.
It doesn't fit well. Okay.
It's bad.
You can get it in there, and with the help of a sledgehammer, it'll fit a little bit better. But it's
absolutely
not something you want to.
Two Hacks Garage knows where there's a 58 300D still sporting the factory fuel injection. Didn't we talk about that before on a previous live?
I don't believe so. Who said that now?
Two Hacks Garage. It was up like 15, 20 comments. You know about that program, right?
Of course I did. A whole video on it.
Yep. Okay, yes you did. Yes, you did.
Why are you keeping this to yourself, Jeff? Don't you think the rest of us would like to see it? This is YouTube, you know. This is like what we do. We find stuff like that and we do videos on it.
Nice. 340s don't belong in 66 Valiants either. Well, that's why I'm putting a 273 in my 66.
Let's see.
Friend of mine is planning to drop a future hardtop again. Planning to drop a 440 in a 78 or similar year Firebird. I've never seen that, but I have seen 440 in like a 1969 GMC truck.
So Twisted Mopar saying we modified the tunnel on my son's 65 Dart.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, if you modify the tunnel, you open a tunnel up, yeah, it'll
do
fit.
whatever you want.
Right, exactly, do whatever you want.
You can fit a 6-speed or a 5-speed truck transmission, but
you know, a lot of people don't even know. Like, so the 4-speed was available on all of the engines, 1964, 65, and 66, the early. But you know, the flywheel, they use a slant 6 flywheel on those.
Yes.
And the small diameter
Yep.
bell housing to fit.
Yep.
So a lot of guys will go to put like let's say a 67 and up 4-speed setup into an early A body, and it just don't.
My 66 must have been previously brutalized because it fit, but who?
But again, with a
even knows?
sledgehammer, and you know, you can make anything really happen.
Oh yeah. Oh, Joe's at the in-laws tonight. Let me know next time.
Okay. That's an unusual setup. Mark Sauvé is saying my bud and I campaigned an 85 S10 with a 400 and a 727. What did it? How fast did it go?
85 S10.
Firefly is saying fuel injection.
Oh,
who is Bendix?
Yep.
The Bendix Electrojector, and that whole system was bought by Bosch.
Bosch.
And that became the K-Tronic. So if you have like, let's say, a 1960s or 1970s German car with fuel injection, right? That actually originated with Chrysler, the DeSoto and Chrysler.
It's an amazing system. I remember, I've kind of poured over pictures of that setup, and God, everything that your modern EFI car didn't get until 1980 whatever, it was right there. So cool.
I would love to find the odds of finding a running example out in the wild are zero. But
yes.
So what happened was there was a problem with the capacitors that they were using.
Yeah.
So they recalled those cars almost immediately, and they replaced the fuel injection setup with dual quads.
Dual quads. Every one of them got dual quads.
There were how many that didn't show up for the recall?
Several. I don't know how many total. It's not very many. I mean, is
yeah,
it like
the only
5
ones that survive are the ones that didn't go in for the recall.
Yes, and somehow a couple people somewhere have the EFI system, or had. Like, I've heard of a couple of those on shelves.
There was one guy that
world.
worked for a dealership. And when they brought the cars in, because they were supposed to just shit can the manifold,
right?
And he saved them, and he had them in his garage. He had
is
like
it
2 or 3.
The guy that worked for Jay Leno, is he the one? Did he get it from
that guy?
That
was it. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. It's very, very interesting. My friend David with All Classics Restoration, for some reason he can't comment on your lives. He says something, but he never got to thank you for giving him a shout out after Mo Party.
Oh, my pleasure, man. My pleasure.
I think he was live streaming from Mo Party, and you like wandered by. I seem to recall. It was something like that.
Oh, wait a minute. Who was it?
His name's David. His channel's All Classics Restoration.
Yeah, I talked with him.
Yeah.
We were hanging out with him. It was over at, what's his name? Kevin Shaw. He was with Kevin Shaw. Mopar Connection, I think it was.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That guy.
David's got a 70 Sport Fury convertible. He just finished restoring. It looks real good. It's like light metallic blue.
That was for
the magazine. Yeah. For Kevin. Okay.
I've known Kevin for a long time. He's an unusual individual.
Copy. Aren't we all?
Some more unusual than others.
Yeah. Our last live stream was why are Mopar guys so weird? I don't think we ever got to the bottom of that.
We're still working on it.
Still working on it.
Still working on it. I'm sure it has something to do. They laid some kind of weird mojo on us. You know what I mean? It's like there's something there. I don't understand it because Mopar people are like really dedicated, crazy, insane Mopar
Oh
people.
yeah. Oh yeah. The quintessential Mopar guy.
Let's see. Who is the quintessential Mopar guy, man?
A hoarder with ADD.
So if you had to name who in your mind, like, is just, you think Mopar, you think this person.
To be fair, do we have to exclude present company because?
Yes, we have to exclude present company.
Yeah. I don't know. I can see that person, but I can't name him. Nope. My friend Evan, who I haven't seen in a long time. He's everything you think a Mopar guy should be. Little weird, little out there, very knowledgeable, talented builder and everything. Hoarder, lives in a shop, has a dog. Oh, actually, his dog passed away. Poor
It's
Holly.
always terrible.
I know. She was a sweet little keg dog. Anyway, that's the quintessential Mopar guy. Great guy.
There's somebody who is known, right? Well, his name is known, so I won't say his name, okay? Because it's just one of those things, right?
Sure.
But he's got to be close to 80. Got to be close to 80, and he's been collecting and hoarding and working on stuff like since it was new, right? So this guy has this huge assortment of stuff, right? Buildings, warehouses, trailers, fields filled with multiples of anything and everything you could possibly imagine. And when you need something, and he's in the parts business, but when you need something, he can never sell it because he needs it for this project that this guy's legit. He's got to be 80 years old.
I don't know this guy, but I know this guy.
You know the guy?
No, I don't know him, but I know him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, I need that.
Exactly.
I'm gonna need that.
Wait, we got people throwing suggestions out here.
Tony's Mopars.
Mark Warman. I tell you what, I'm not gonna say anything bad about Mark Warman.
He's a Mopar guy, but is he the quintessential Mopar guy?
No.
Is he a weird nutso hoarder? I don't think so. He seems pretty well adjusted to me.
He's a sharp businessman, okay, but and he does excellent restoration work, and he knows his, cross the T and dot the I, right?
Right.
He's got
sure.
that down. Yes, the factory had dust particles settle on the paint when they did this because the overhead ventilation unit hadn't been cleaned since October, so all of the cars built from this point to this point have dust marks and the chalk marks on them. So like he knows these things, and that's awesome. That's awesome. But he's not a well-rounded enough Mopar person. If that makes sense.
Is he in the trenches with us, building and hoarding garbage? I just don't know.
No,
I don't think so.
He's not a.
And no, I wasn't talking about Tom. Tom is a quintessential Mopar guy, hoarder, tons of parts, but he also sells things, and most Mopar guys don't want to do that.
Freiberger?
Yeah, he's a Mopar guy, but he kind of plays the board, and
but I wouldn't
he also, one of God's own prototypes, high-powered mutant, never meant for mass production. Too weird to live, too rare to die.
You just described every Mopar guy.
Vile Fly put it in the comments, but that's Hunter Thompson. A high-powered mutant.
Tony G. Who's Tony G?
A lot of Tonys in Mopar world. A lot of Toms and a lot of Jamies.
If you're talking about Tony D'Agostino.
Well, someone else suggested
there you go.
multiple people.
No,
in fact.
I've known Tony since we were teenagers. We go way back, and again, he's a lot like Mark Warman in that he's kind of one-dimensional. He did have race cars and stuff when he was younger, but he never really pursued that. Like He knows his part numbers. He knows the application. He knows what's rare, what's not, what fits, what doesn't, what's worth. He's dialed in there, and I could never say anything. He's one of the best. Many times over the years, and I needed a question answered, I would call Tony. Many times over the years, when I need money, I'd call Tony and sell him my
Sell
stuff.
him parts.
Many times, in fact, Kathy and I used to joke around and call him the Bank of D'Agostino.
Oh, wow.
We would, you run into like hard times, and it's like, okay, we got to get rid of stuff. Call D'Agostino. So, many times, we'd run truckloads of stuff up to him. So, yeah, but he's not the quintessential Mopar guy. Like, he doesn't have the sickness.
I got the sickness. There's no question.
I know you got the sickness.
Mopar guys march to the beat of a different drummer, but we're kind of all marching to the beat of the same drummer, aren't we?
Yes, but I'm not really sure we all hear the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear it. Nice. Dodge Dart or Plymouth Scamp? Dart, easy, done. Next.
Galen Govier. No, again, not the quintessential Mopar guy. He's a paper guy.
Mm-hmm.
See, for me, the quintessential Mopar guy is in everything, right? He's in everything. Just the universe of Mopar.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Speed and Demon just got a complete 383 727 drivetrain from a 68 Charger. They're putting a Hemi in it. Older Hemi, not a new one. Well, thank God for that.
Yes.
God.
What about Steve Dulcich? Okay, yeah.
That's a Mopar guy.
That's a Mopar guy.
Quintessential?
That's a Mopar guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's actually, come to think of it, he's pretty quintessential.
Yeah. Dulcich gets my vote.
Yes, Dulcich, definitely, yeah, he's up there.
Hardcore.
Kirschenbaum, yes. I stayed with him in, I guess it was 1991 or 1992. I was up for the editor's job at Superstock. I was up for the editor's job at Superstock and Drag Illustrated, and I stayed at his place up in the high desert for like a week. It was a lot of fun. That was pretty crazy. Al and his brother Steve, and actually Steve, I think more than Al. But yeah, another quintessential Mopar guy. Birdsong, Chris Birdsong. Yes. Yeah. There's another.
Fits the bill.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that guy. I watch a lot of his content. Some of it, I gotta fast forward to it, but some of it is really, really good. And
he does how much killer work.
Loves this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Loves this stuff.
Yeah.
So the thing with Birdsong is that about 10 years ago, it must have been about, a 68 Charger, a slant 6 68 Charger.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And he bought it.
I remember this.
And that is before any of us were anybody. Like, he was not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was doing my Mopar parts business. No YouTube presence or anything like that. No magazine presence at that time. He was doing his thing. No YouTube or anything like that. So we were just like in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
And posted on Facebook. So he posted on Facebook about how he bought the 68 Charger with a slant 6, and he can't wait to get the slant 6 out of it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So
bugged me.
Kathy goes nuts on him. Okay. This was like a crazy pissing match that went back and forth between him and Kathy. There was no way to know that 10 years later.
Right.
That, yes, we're all going to be doing YouTube.
And you guys would be pillars of the internet Mopar community. Yeah, I remember that. And he bought that, and he just went on and on about how it was a slug, and he would, rip it out. And I believe I also was in the comments on that one. I've been in the comments on a lot of the kerfuffles in the various internet groups. Allegedly.
Richard Ehrenberg. Can't take nothing away from him. you know, he does not like me. Like, do not ever mention my name within a half mile of Richard Ehrenberg, because he'll just like piss his pants. Okay, he hates me. But I give him all the credit in the world. He's one of the most knowledge-wise. He's one of the most well-rounded Mopar guys that ever lived. Like he's a real. He's a guy who re-engineers the original engineering and makes it better. You know what I mean? He's one of those people. I have a lot of respect for his knowledge.
What was his big project? Did he do the green brick? Was
the
that
green
him?
brick is the one he's known for. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see.
Robert Fitch. How's it going? If you march to the beat of Virgil Exner's drummer, you just might be a Mopar guy. Pre-heart attack.
Yeah, post-heart attack.
Yeah.
It's amazing, you know, because Jamie, if you stop and you think about it, okay?
Yeah.
If Exner hadn't have had that heart attack, and Chrysler didn't go out of their way to re-engineer their whole image and everything, okay?
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here right now.
No.
We wouldn't be here right now because it would not have evolved that way.
Right. There wouldn't have been a great reset.
There wouldn't have been a great reset to bring about the Mopar era that brought all of these people in.
What would a muscle era? Oh my God, Exner! I just had a brain fart, maybe a stroke. What would a muscle era Exner car look like? What would a forward look car advanced into the muscle era look like? He designed cars later, but I don't.
Well, it's not so much the forward look part of it, but when Chrysler reinvented itself in '62,
yeah,
they put a heavy emphasis on performance.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Might not have gotten there.
Right. They would have stayed more along the lines of what I would consider to be like European type of performance. All right. It would have been more of a BMW sort of head, if that makes any sense.
I don't know if it does or not.
Okay, so think about the forward look performance cars, right? Think about the Chrysler 300 you just picked up.
Yeah.
Okay. Performance, luxury, refinement. Okay. I think that's the direction that the company would have continued on. Okay, so you wouldn't have gotten things like the Roadrunner. You would have gotten things more serious. You know, it probably would have been more like or more mainstream. It would have been more like an Oldsmobile sort of thing, or a. Does that make any sense?
Less wacky.
Less wacky.
Raw.
With the remake in 1962, lots of emphasis went into racing, into high performance. You went from the refined performance of the forward look years to the blood and guts, all out, balls out. We don't need back seats in this thing. We don't need, you know, like A990 cars, right?
Did you see that?
Would have happened.
Did you see that Max Wedge car I got to work on?
No.
It's a '63. Was it? It was, right? 63 330? Was it? Yeah, it must have been. I don't know. Someone will remind me what I did 2 weeks ago because I don't remember. Tony B. It's water.
I love Max Wedge cars.
Yeah, 426 Max Wedge. It's a high compression, 13.5 to 1. Ultra rare, apparently. They didn't make many. There was a high compression Max Wedge, 63, yeah, 63 330, 426, high compression, 3-speed manual.
Nice.
There were no 4 speeds. It was automatic or 3-speed.
They did have a 4-speed, but it wasn't heavy duty enough.
Yep. So not behind the Max Wedge. It was 3-speed.
Right,
only.
because the Chrysler 300.
Yep.
Had an optional
T10, right? I think.
No, they were using the French one, the Ponto.
Oh, there was that one too, but Tom said they used T10s in some models for 63. I thought.
It's.
I've heard of the French one.
Wasn't in the Max Wedge.
No. The max wedge was 3-speed only.
Well, actually, come to think of it, you're right about that as far as because I had a Bellhausen at one point.
That accepted a T10.
There was a T10,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
But
that's
I
what
don't
Tom
remember what the
said.
application was.
I defer to Tom because I don't. What
Yeah.
the hell do I know? But anyway, there's the car, and it's immaculate. It's, it's parked next to a Daytona, so that kind of tells you what you need to know about it. Oh, it's a great color. I can't remember what it's called, but it's very turquoise. But it's cool. It has a radio and a heater. It's not a factory lightweight or anything. But it kind of is. It has no because it's the high compression. They relocated the battery to the trunk, and it has no hood bracing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of them did.
None of the 330s did.
The
Max wedge
none of the
cars.
Max wedge
Okay,
cars
no
did.
max wedge cars did. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know the breakdown.
That's the
on
easiest way to identify a max. What you
that.
just
Okay,
no bracing under the
no
hood.
bracing.
Yeah.
And then only the high compression cars apparently they relocated the battery.
So Rod Leninsky is saying, I had a T10. It was an iron case on a 383 in my 63 330.
Nice.
Yeah. So that I
Sounds
guess
right.
that was the application for the T10.
Yeah.
The bigger cars, like if you got a 300, let's say,
Got that weird
those had a
French
French
thing.
transmission.
Yeah.
And I think it was a Pantolisson or something like that.
I've read it before. I have no idea what it is.
A Pantomassoon. There you go. Dean Stevenson. Dean is, and
Wow.
when you know what I notice about Dean, he is literally in every live stream on YouTube.
It's
Every single one of them. I don't know
it's
how
a
he
name
does
and
it.
picture I recognize. He said he wasn't worthy a bit ago. I think he is.
Oh, he's awesome. Dean is awesome.
Nice.
So let's see. Let's get back to it. Let's get back.
How heavy have y'all found 68 to 70 Chargers to be? I weighed mine and it was less than I thought. It's a
Wait, let me
383
guess.
automatic. What's that?
Let me guess.
Okay, go ahead.
3650.
Damn close. I think it was like 36. I don't know. I've got it on video, but I think it was like 3630 or 3620 something.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. There you
I've
go.
weighed enough of them. I know what they hit the scales at. Now here's a surprise. My 73 Roadrunner,
Mm-hmm.
344 speed,
Mm-hmm.
drove it onto the scales. What did it weigh?
You said
Yeah.
it's a surprise, so now I'm thinking light, but I would have thought that's a pretty heavy car.
Yeah,
Safety
because-
bumpers, isolator, K-frame. I would have guessed, even being a small block, that car would be like 100 or 200 pounds heavier than mine.
You would think that, right?
You would think.
Because I thought so too.
Mm-hmm.
3550.
Really?
3550. I was blown away, and I made them put it on this guy's. No,
Do it again. Don't those cars have door bars like the A body?
They do.
And
They've got door bars. They've got the
big
isolated-
giant cross section in the bumper.
They get the 200-pound K-frame, whatever the hell it is. It's
The isolator
ridiculous.
K.
3550.
I don't really think the K itself is any heavier.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yep. Lift the two of them next to each other. The conventional
Well,
K-frame, you think
yeah.
about one hand. The isolated K is like, oh.
I just built one of those suspensions in a 73 Charger earlier this year, but I don't
But yeah,
remember.
that car's 3550,
Hmm.
which I was amazed at, and I made them weigh it twice. I said that can't be right.
That's really interesting. Oh,
73 Chargers are heavy as hell.
Huh.
Well, it's the same car as
30.
it's 2 inches longer or 2 inches. Is it 2 or 3? It's 2 or 3 inches longer on wheelbase than Charger. But
Yeah.
most Chargers had more stuff in them. So my Roadrunner is a non-factory no AC car.
Yeah.
Right. So that's there's some weight there. There's
Yeah.
a pretty substantial difference.
Oh, that's Rooster. Someone asked a bit ago, is that a Roadrunner towing a boat? I can't point. It's over there. Yeah, that's Rooster's Roadrunner. I've sat in that car. It's pretty cool. It's a 344 speed car, I believe, but it had some wacky big block in it.
Kim is breaking the third wall. I hope you've got spackle, Kim.
Good
That's
luck.
all I could say. Okay. All I could say.
Oh no, Kool-Aid Man! Oh no! Damn it! I just found it. Reference weights. Oh, Roadrunner 318 curb weight 3706. Shipping 3525. 37. It's supposed to be heavier than that,
Well,
according to
they
this.
all have slightly different variations.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Options, and one set of seats or one style weighs more than the next.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of little variations,
For sure.
including just thicknesses of metal, right?
Right.
It just depends. Some of them are stamped a little bit thicker than others. Like when the factory starts its roll of steel, to do their stampings, some of it is thicker. It'll have a tolerance. It could be minimum to maximum thickness, and some of those rolls of steel are minimum thickness. Some of them are maximum thickness. And it doesn't seem like a lot until you start adding up all of the, you know what I mean? And it's like 3 pounds here, 4 pounds there, 2 pounds there, 8 pounds there. And next thing you know, you've got a pretty substantial difference in weight.
Well, all I can say is the reported curb weight, I found one of those sites full, they've got all the data.
Jeff, thank you for the super chat. That's totally unnecessary. Thank you.
The reported curb weight is 3770 for the 344 speed specifically. Figure that one out.
Yeah, Dakota's saying, I work at a steel warehouse, and even in 2024, there is definitely a variance in steel thickness. Oh,
Gotcha.
absolutely. It's like, when you really pick it up on bumpers, like if you handle enough bumpers, like when I was doing the parts business, right? I had stacks of bumpers that were the same. You know what I mean? So you had Valiant bumpers, and you had 70 Dart, 71 Dart, 72 Dart, and just moving the bare bumpers around, you could note that there's a substantial difference between this bumper and this bumper, and they're the same bumper. You know what I mean? But this one's stamped a little bit thicker than the other one.
You got all glitchy. Did we both get all glitchy?
I'm always glitchy, bro. So,
well, but more glitchy than usual.
I don't think that's possible. Let me see here. Cave Dave, my 69 Roadrunner, no
Cave
option,
Dave.
3460. That's about exactly right.
Yeah. Sounds right to me.
So you think about that, right? So I bet you it's a coupe, right? It's not. You can't. I don't think it could be a hardtop one at 3460.
Jay Hunto's Garage asked if there are any plans for another $3,000 or $2,000 build for max performance. I built a Turbo Slant 6, and I'm actually still somehow under $2,000 into that car, running and going down the street. Barely.
Stuff can be done cheap. You just have to really want to do it.
I really wanted to do it.
I don't mean you. I mean these guys.
The subject. Yes. No, I understand.
Thumper is okay. That's interesting. Hang on. Where was Thumper? I just saw that. There you go. My 70 GTO 55 12-bolt rear turbo hydro 400, no AC, power steering, power brakes, 3,900 pounds.
Damn.
I would expect that. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a full frame car.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's always that's the big advantage Mopars had over everything else back in the day. It's always going to hit the street 100 pounds, 200 pounds lighter than their equivalent.
Yeah.
Just because of the unibody. Charles S., thank you for the super chat. Hey guys, sorry if you covered this already. How about updates on the Barracudas, Scribbles, and Garbage Can? Okay, you go first.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, both Tony and I have white early Barracudas. Mine's a 66. It's called the Garbage Can Cuda. It's been a year and 3 weeks since my friend Donnie and I painted it. I've done barely anything since then except rip out the axle and sell it, so it's currently rolling on a 7 1/4. Just a few weeks ago, I got it moved inside, finally. I went to start on the 273 engine for that car and found the block that I literally fished out of the scrap pile, so this shouldn't surprise me, but it's way worse than I thought. So it's at the machine shop right now, still trying to get my hands on a good set of closed chamber 273 heads. I need to build a transmission and do a whole bunch of other stuff. But I am actually going to start on the car. I'm going to start stripping things that I don't need to make an awesome small block 4-speed drag car. And that's coming in the near future. Probably next couple weeks I'll have another video coming on that. But it's not going to get together for like at least 2-3 months. At least.
Scribbles reached a point of drivability, and I've been using it to run back and forth from here to the shop. Like, I haven't done anything with it. I think I'm going to start working on the metal on it soon. It needs a lot of metal work. Scribbles is a super rough car, right? It's rough to the point that it's not very pleasant to drive, right? Oh my God, can I explain this to you? Like, at this point, all I've done, it had a big hole. Everything behind the front seat, between the front seat and the back seat, was missing.
How
So
much
all
of
I
your
did was
Barracuda
stuck a
floor
piece
is made of
sheet metal on there,
fiberglass?
just so as I'm driving down the road, the earth isn't coming into the car. It's not even fixed in place. It's just stuck there, and I put a piece of rug over it. It needs a huge amount of attention, but mechanically, it's perfect. And it runs down the road okay. It has a mysterious noise I still have to dig into and figure out where, and I'm not even going to get into that right now. It's a crazy noise. But engine, transmission, rear, suspension, brakes, steering, all of that was perfect. But it's such a mess. It is unpleasant to drive. So that's the next phase with that car, is to try to make it a little more human.
Did you
And do
get your
some of the
door
metal
latch
work.
fixed?
What's that?
Did you fix your door latch thing?
I did not. I have
Really?
not. No, I'm hoping I come across
I
a
haven't
door.
found one. Yeah.
You found
You
one?
no, haven't. You called me
I
looking
told
for a
you, yeah.
door latch, and I couldn't help. I don't have any. I
So
only
that's
have
what's
the
going
ones
on
I
with that.
need.
Thank you for the super chat, Charlie. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. Should I make a video about fixing up my car as a daily driver? 1968 New Yorker. You guys put the best live stream. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tyler. We both appreciate that.
Much
Yes,
appreciated.
of course you should make a video.
Absolutely.
I encourage everybody to make videos about everything. I'm dead serious, right? Make videos about everything you do, right? If you're so inclined. You've got a phone or whatever, just
It's
point
so
it at
easy.
what you're doing, talk about it. Somebody out there is going to find what you're doing interesting or valuable, or, you know what I'm saying? Or entertaining. Do it. Just make videos. And if you make enough videos, you'll end up sitting here with us, because that's how we got started. You know what I mean? It's like, here's a video.
You
Okay?
know, I don't know about you. My thing with YouTube, because I've been doing it 3 years now, and my regret is that I didn't start 5 years earlier, when people kept telling me, you should do YouTube, you should do videos. You're funny, do YouTube. And I thought you needed someone with a camera. No, you don't. You just need your phone. That's all you need. Just start now. Like, just do it.
You are now a professional YouTuber, correct?
Literally, yes,
Yeah.
in every sense of the word.
Yeah, the two of us make our livings from this, you know,
Mhm.
and he's only been doing it for 3 years.
Mhm.
So that should tell you right there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Not only is it possible, but here's two examples of people who've done it,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
That's the great thing, and that's I love about YouTube. You know, here's the thing, right? I have an extensive background in all different automotive media, going back 40 years. Okay, YouTube is a free range zone. It's not who you know. It's not what you have access to. It's not how much money you have. It's like none of the things that are normally roadblocks to get into stuff like the magazines or TV shows or anything like that. There are zero barriers to entry, right? It's just what you're capable of doing. So you put it out there, and if it works and it resonates with people, you will be successful.
Yep.
Everybody has the same exact opportunity, right? So get out there and absolutely do it. Kill it. You can do it. Bill McKaiska, thank you for the super chat. Would crossover headers or an X-pipe have the same effect on an inline six as they would on a V8? Could or should it have been done on a slant Super 6? No.
Someone hasn't seen the understanding the slant 6 video 3 times.
All right. Here's the thing about not just slant sixes, but like inlines, or more specifically, small displacement engines, relatively small displacement engines. So that would include V8s. All right. Here's what you need to know about exhaust. Heat is the lubricant for exhaust. When you blow cold air through a pipe, or room temperature air, cool air, whatever it is, the air is dense, okay, and it wants to stick to whatever surface it comes across. So there's resistance. When you heat it up, and when you heat the pipe up, that heat actually acts as a lubricant. The heat barrier keeps the column that's flowing through moving rapidly. Now, when you have a small displacement engine, you're not putting enough heat into an exhaust, into a dual exhaust, to make them efficient. So you'll find is, if you have, let's say, a dual exhaust, a 250 cubic inch engine, and it has a dual exhaust, two 2-inch pipes, you will find that a single 2¼ inch pipe will flow better than the two 2-inch pipes, because there's less resistance and there's more heat maintained in the pipe because you're putting more of a volume of hot air through it. So I cannot think of a single example of an engine of that size, right? Someplace in like the 225, 250 up to like 300 cubic inches, where you would not have a better result with a larger diameter single than you would with any sort of dual or X or anything like that. And one other thing, when you run an engine with that 153/624 firing order through a dual exhaust, it sounds like shit. And what happens is,
sounds broken.
If not only does it sound broken, but it makes weird resonances. So you'll be driving along. So you put a dual exhaust. You put a set of those Dutra duals or whatever on a slant 6, and then run a dual exhaust all the way to the back. When you're driving out, it better be a dead quiet exhaust, because if you can hear the exhaust, it's going to do this weird thing where it comes and goes. Like you'd be driving along at like 50 miles an hour, and it'll be going. It's horrible. Big diameter single is the way to go. Did I answer that okay, Jamie?
I think you did.
All right.
With all kinds of science, which impressed the people.
Yes.
Patrick Sullivan sent a super sticker a while back, and I think it was a fist bump. And he said, "No love for my fist bump? We can't see it in StreamYard. It just says
Is that
sticker."
it, Patrick Sullivan?
That is it, yeah.
Thank you, Patrick.
He was disappointed.
Yes.
But we can't see his fist bump.
Yeah. Dog pound. Okay.
The only split exhaust inline I've driven like that was a Flathead Plymouth convertible, actually. So it was even worse because the roof was down. And, dude, it had a really weird, like, farty sound. It kind of sounded like either a broken Volkswagen or like an ancient boat or something. I don't know. It sounded weird.
Yeah, a properly sized exhaust system is always better than just a big exhaust system.
Right.
That's why on it when you're porting, okay, when you're porting, on the intake side, you always want to leave some texture, okay, and on the exhaust side, you want it polished and smooth. There was a Smoky Eunuch thing, okay, where NASCAR said that you couldn't do any porting or any cleanup work on the exhaust side of the cylinder heads, right? And so what Eunuch would do is paint the cylinder head, the exhaust side. He'd use heat-resistant paint and paint the whole, right, and keep putting layers on it until it was smooth like glass, because they said you couldn't port it, but they didn't say anything about you couldn't paint it. So he found some kind of, paint, some heat-resistant paint, and
Scarlet Fire says the torque fight it can't be that much heavier than a 4-speed.
What's that?
The Torque Fight 727. What's the weight difference between a 727 and a 4-speed?
Oh.
I've lifted enough 4-speeds to know they're not light.
160 pounds.
Well.
For an iron 833.
Yeah, something on Google says the 4-speed is closer to 100. That doesn't.
100-pound difference?
Well, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, because also you got to figure it's the 4-speed and a bell housing and a clutch assembly.
The clutch linkage.
Yeah.
That adds.
Yeah. Extra pedal. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know about that.
Extra pedal, extra bracing under the dashboard on the firewall.
No.
Then the Z bar and the bracket on the frame rail, and
right.
So
I wouldn't be looking at a 4-speed as a major weight savings. That's what it sounds like they're going for. Oh, the 4-speed's lighter. I don't know about all that.
No. Shangri-La 73 Eldorado, thank you for the super chat. Can you guys say some words about the 4-door Dodge Dart, 1973? Father Henry's car of my youth. A 73 4-door Dodge Dart.
I can't say any words about a 73, but I can say some words about a 1974 four-door Dodge Dart, which was my daily driver for a long time.
Which
It
would be
had a,
identical. 72.
well, except for the back bumper,
Except
back,
for the dash
back bumper and
Back
taillight
bump, yeah.
arrangement, yeah, and shoulder belts. But it was a 318 3 on the tree, and it was spectacular, except that it was constantly clogging fuel filters. You'd get to, about the middle of second gear, and it would just go, ugh. Also, if you ever tried to speed shift first to second, the linkage would bind up, and then bad times. Love that car, though. That was a great... I still have pieces of that car. It's one of only 3 cars I have ever parted out because it got rusty to a point that the parts were worth more than the car. And the stick swap parts gave their life for a worthy cause. But anyway, I'm quite fond of those.
Yeah, I
don't even mind the beaky nose. I don't mind it. Some people hate it.
The nose looks pretty good on those. I like the Dodge better than the Plymouth.
Yeah.
The 73s, 74s.
I kind of like the 73 Ford Plymouth, too. I think all of them 75.6 are terrible. I think we can agree on that.
No, the 75, 76 Dodge looks pretty good.
I owned one from certain angles, I guess, but I'd rather have the 73 Ford.
The deal breaker for me with any 1976 A-body is the electronics.
Yeah.
They just totally jumped the shark with that. You know, I was going to do a video. By the way, thank you, Shangri-La, for the super chat. I was actually going to do a video, and it had more to do with planned obsolescence and useless technology, and where did it really start? Okay, and using the A-body dashboard harness. The schematic. I was actually gonna use that to show the evolution.
73 is okay.
Here's a 1967
yeah.
Plymouth Valiant gauge cluster. Here is a 1976 Plymouth Valiant gauge cluster. Okay.
Yeah.
They are the same gauges in the same place that do the same things.
Yes.
Okay. Now look at the schematic from the 67, and it's 12 wires, and you're done. All right. Look at the 1976 for the same features, the same function, and it takes pages of schematic to cover it all.
It's so bad. I can say specifically it's 1974. Everything was still okay in 73. Everything was fine. In 1974, the entire shark was jumped.
But 76 is when it got really dead because they decided they were going to isolate the alternator gauge from the charging system.
Yeah.
And they just have you ever had a 76?
No, I was just going to say that. I never have. I've only owned one. I've only ever owned one 76 car.
When there are problems, when there are gauge cluster problems, when there's electrical problems with those cars, don't even attempt to fix it. You gut everything. You get a 1973 dash harness, and you plug it in along with a 73 gauge cluster and call it a day.
I'm doing a 74 Dart Sport right now on the channel. It's a 408 stroker and a 5-speed. It's a crazy build, but that's exactly what I'm doing. The 74 stuff is going in the dumpster, and I got a 73 harness.
Fubar once again put up the link to Jamie's channel, Dead Dog Garage. So guys, if you don't know, I can't imagine how anybody could be into Mopars and not know your channel yet, but there's probably one or two of them on here now.
Yeah.
Right? Go over there, sub to Jamie's channel. Jamie has the best Mopar channel on all of YouTube, bar none. I say that not because he's my friend, but because it's the truth. Right?
He says it all the time.
Because it's true. It's true.
I appreciate it.
I've scanned the horizon of Mopar channels, okay? And you've got everybody covered by a sizable difference.
Well, I certainly appreciate the vote of confidence.
It's not a vote of confidence.
I'm trying.
I'm just telling you like it is.
Yeah.
So Fubar just put the link to his channel and my merch. Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got our hats and T-shirts and now we've got mugs.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I should get mugs.
You should get mugs.
Yeah, I should.
But thank you, Fubar, as always. Let's see. Danny Boyd says, my grandpa had a 73-inch four-door dark brown with a black vinyl top, and you just described like everybody's grandfather's car in 1970.
Yeah.
uh,
Mark Sauvé said, like. Let's get some likes for Mark Sauvé.
yes,
Like Mark
everybody
Sauvé.
like Mark Sauvé.
Hit like. Just Mopar Joe has a great channel. I brought him up last time we were live, and Tony said that I was the best one.
Yeah,
Just Mopar Joe is a great guy.
Oh, I take nothing away. I love Joe. I think he's
That's
awesome.
the discussion we had then. Yep. Love that guy.
But his channel is not as good as yours.
I do a lot of different things.
Everybody does different things, and Joe's specialty is drag racing. He loves drag racing. It's what he's
hell
all
of an
about.
engine builder.
So
he could build circles around me any day.
Yes, I'm talking about a Mopar specific channel that covers the world of Mopar stuff.
Did you see Joe and my run? I might have showed it to you in person because we have this great clip of a GoPro facing out his passenger window at the Demon.
Yeah, I saw that.
So he gets the launch and the Demon almost pops the wheel and it's going, and then he just he drives by me 2 seconds later.
Go right out of your life.
Oh, it was so cool.
Go right out of your life.
Oh yeah.
Bill Truitt says I'm the best boomer on the tube. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Jeff Hutchins, Jamie takes a compliment like I do. Uncomfortably, yeah, exactly. I don't want it to go to my head.
Let's see.
Where is the 84-ounce barrel of Tang? I told you, my dad used to mix Tang and black coffee. I've never tried it, and I don't want to. But
did you ever drink Tango?
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, I've drank so much Tang when I was
not Tang.
Tang? What did you say?
Tango.
Oh, Tango. No, what's that?
Well, when I was a kid, right, and you wanted to get really messed up, okay?
Uh-huh.
You know, you have your classics. There's Mad Dog 2020,
absolutely,
Ripple, okay? but the one that was only around for a little while, and a couple of years, and this is back, like, I guess, when I remember it, 1970, I was like 16, 17, so it'd be like the late 70s, was a thing called Tango, okay? And Tango was vodka and Tang. And you buy it any liquor store.
Yeah.
So it was like super concentrated Tang in vodka. So you could guzzle like a fifth of this stuff and never know it.
Wow, that's not good at all.
I remember waking up. Like I remember being at a party, right? Cracking open a bottle of Tango, and then waking up in the morning, hugging a tree, like I was on the curb, like wrapped around a tree, and people were like going to work and stuff like that. I don't think this is a good thing to do.
I don't think
so. I was
so.
like 16.
It's not good. Tango blackout.
Any of you guys remember Tango?
Oh, look how tough Scoop looks on the big screen. I can't do this on split screen. It doesn't work. He's over there. Look at Scoop.
Where's
Scoop?
Tough.
He's on the screen. He's right under you. He's the little kitty.
Oh, I see him. Okay.
He's so tough. Mad Dog 2020.
What was that? How did I outgrow it so early? I don't have time. Honestly, I have nothing against drinking. I have nothing against recreational use of certain things. That's fine as far as I'm concerned. I don't have time for it. You gotta understand. I'm always on. You know, like there's no such thing as like downtime here. I'm always absorbing information, and I just don't have the time or the mental capacity for drinking or anything like that.
Oh.
I'm getting old, so I'm trying to I'm realistic. I'm 62 years old. I've only got a very short period of time left where I'm still usable, like viable. So I'm trying to cram as much of that in as I can while I can. So I've got time for alcohol.
I don't drink. I usually have a cider on my live stream, and depending on the week, I'll have a cider every other night or something. But I don't drink, and I can't. I won't. Can't do it.
When you're busy trying to accomplish things,
I got shit to do, man. RT Charge 440 loved my 440 Tin Grill Crew Cab video today. Thank you. Appreciate that. I like that truck a lot. Really nice driving truck. I am amazed. Amazed.
Let's see. Hunch Punch. Hawaiian Punch and yeah. Yeah, we've all.
Robert Benavidez asked if anyone was interested in a 72 Duster 340 clone. Well, yeah.
What is it now?
Oh, a 72 Duster 340 clone. I mean, many people would be interested in that for the right price. Yeah. And my right price is probably less than you want.
But maybe, is he talking about a one from actually 2972?
Ooh.
900 years in the future?
Maybe.
Because I would be very interested in that. I'm sure propulsion, the 340 have had many improvements over the next 1,000 years.
I imagine so. Could be worse. Could have woken up on a garbage barge headed from New York. They actually send the garbage out of New York? I didn't know that.
Oh, they don't send that out of New York.
Yeah, that's my understanding. They rent it.
1,000 years from now, Jamie.
Yeah.
1,000 years from now, after you, me, and everybody and everything we know has long turned to dust and disappeared.
Yes.
What's going to be the state of the Mopar market?
1,000 years from now?
1,000 years from now.
What makes you think there's going to be humans left to consider that?
Who said anything about humans?
Aliens will be drag racing.
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't know. The question's fuel. Will there be a way to continue to run a Duster, a Mopar, 1,000 years from now? I don't know.
Of course, because, I mean, okay, let's assume they've gotten away from oil, or that's a dead technology, right? Mm-hmm. Or dead industry. They can always make alcohol. They can always run this stuff on alcohol.
Yeah.
Right? So, future life forms, 1,000 years from now, what do you think the Mopar market will be at that point? Like, will it still be focused on the glory cars? It's got to be a Hemi Cuda, it's got to be a Superbird, or do you think by that point C-bodies will find equal acceptance?
I think we're so close to that already. Where anything old, anything from that time is like, it doesn't have the same glory or bring the same dollars, but any old iron, normal people are already amazed by that now. Like, what is this amazing thing? 1,000 years from now, no one will know that. Well, I think any old technology will be special someday.
The used part market is going to be super tight. But then again, I'm sure they'll be able to 3D print pretty much anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. We'll find out.
I'm sure we will.
Let's see.
Have I seen what's going on with Stellantis?
Oh, please.
Yeah, believe it or not, I do have the internet, yes.
Yeah, I watch TJ's Garage, and I just follow the exploits of what's going on with Stellantis through his channel. I don't consider, I have no allegiance to modern Mopar.
I understand that.
Zero, right? It's
I have very little, and I don't care a whole lot about it, about whatever they've got going on, but at the same time, they still have the Dodge name, right? So it's still interesting to me to a certain degree, and I do like things that they were making, 5 years ago. I might not like them as much as the classics, but I have a 2018 Challenger. I love that car for different, very, very different reasons.
Well, okay, so I have an appreciation. Obviously, clearly, I'm a Mopar guy, right?
Yeah.
But I have appreciation for everything. So,
sure.
You show me a 69 Z28, okay? I know a geek on that car, right?
Oh yeah.
But okay, for instance, to me, a modern Challenger or a modern Mopar has the same appeal as, let's say, a 1970s GM product,
Hmm.
right? Like I can appreciate it for what it is. Some of them I really like,
But you don't love it the same way.
I feel
No.
no allegiance to it at all. Like
I get it. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole lot. Nothing modern is the soul. It's not the same soul. It's not the same spirit. I mean, there's a reason we relate to these cars and love them, and it's not the same thing at all.
I've always, when it's come up in conversation in the past, I've always said that it's not that I'm a Mopar guy. I'm a fan of the design language
Yep.
of that specific period
That
of
time. Yeah, we've
right?
we've talked about that. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
so
design
it's
language,
not,
the way they
it's
were
not
put
the,
together.
it's not the Mopar, it's not the Chrysler, it's not the
Mhm.
Dodge. It's the design language. It was the corporate philosophy of and how things were done
Mhm.
in that period of time, and right down to the bolts, right? Like I look at the bolts with the captured washers and you know what I mean, and it's like, yes, this is right. This feels right. I look at the way just a big block is, and I say, yes, this is right. I see that it's a combination of an FE and a small
Yeah.
block Chevy, but it's done correctly. It's like
Right.
it's better than the two things that it copies.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I love all classic cars, kinda, but none of them speak to me or make sense to me the same way. Never
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. I have a genuine fondness, right, for the materials. Like I know like amazing people like this guy's really freaking nuts, right? But I have literal fondness for this. I pick up an OEM, right, water pump, small block water pump,
Yeah.
and I feel attached to it. It's like you are part of my life's story. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like I've seen you, exactly you, for the last 50 years of my life.
Right.
The best parts of it and the worst parts of it, and I've made
You
a
were there.
living from you.
Right.
You know, so you show me a handful of bolts that came from a 361, and I'm like, I love you. You're part of me. Does that make any sense?
I was sorting bolts 2 days ago. I've been cleaning my hoard and sorting through bolts, and yes. Patrick Sullivan, you wouldn't download a car. Yes, I would download a car.
I'm a bolt hoarder, right? And
Yeah.
hardware hoarder. And I recently picked up a couple of carburetors. I went to Marketplace and I was selling a couple of Edelbrocs for $50.
Okay.
And it was like, you take all the stuff that goes with it, right? So one of them was a box full of like random assorted nuts and bolts. And I literally picked through the box. There were like just a couple of like, okay, there's a small block valve cover bolt. You know what I mean? And I plucked those out and I took the rest of them and just tossed them in a dumpster.
I did at Rocket, I did a couple of like correct nut and bolt engines, and that was fun. Learning the differences in the valve cover bolts and the markings and the like, which washer size, and do you know when they added pilot points to the valve cover bolts? Yeah, they started phasing them in 1970, I believe. But just sorting through and finding this is the right anchor mark, this one has the right lines, just going through all that and getting it exactly right. It's very immensely satisfying and enjoyable.
I'm a stickler for that, even with the hot rods. Right? I
Yeah.
don't care how exotic the thing is. Those intake manifold bolts better be intake manifold bolts.
I'm putting together that Dart Sport right now, and it's a Magnum engine, and it already came with all the wrong bolts, and it's really disappointing. It's disappointing.
Shangri-La Eldorado, thank you for another super chat, my friend. Please help me on this one. Best street tires on the market with white lettering. I'm out. I can't.
Cooper Cobras? Because they're called Cooper Cobras? There's only like 2 that you can really get in like 15s, and it's Cooper Cobras, and what's the other one? Hold on. It'll come to me. It won't.
I'll tell you what, Shangri-La, here's what you do. Go to Coker Tire, okay? They
There you go.
reproduce a lot of the classic profiles of like the 70s, right? Like I can't even think of the names of them. All of the classic tires of the day, both bias ply and radial. Go to Coker Tire, because now I know that anything that they do there is quality.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't tell you whether they're the best, but I can tell you you're not going to get junk from anything you buy through Coker, and they don't give me anything. Actually, they overcharge me anytime I ever buy anything. I think they go out of their way to overcharge me. Oh, it's the
They're
UTG
not cheap.
that
Yeah.
tax on top of that, right? But Coker Tire, right? Go there, look through their offerings, and I would recommend that you find something that they have.
Archie Guitars said newer made Challengers look like comic book versions of the originals. And I agree. Again, like, to me, it's like, it's a different thing. It has classic enough lines. Like, if I'm going to have a modern car, I'd like something like that, I suppose. But I wouldn't compare it to an old one.
Well, you can't help but compare it to the old one because it's a direct copy.
The lines are there, but they're a little wrong. The thing I don't like about those and the new Chargers and the 300s is that the windows are too short. You ever notice that? All of the greenhouse is too short. Like, the lines are all right, but the door windows aren't tall enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Proportions are just a little bit off.
Yeah, they just look like they've been left in the water for too long. And
there you go. That's
know what I mean?
kind of it. Yeah.
That body's been floating in the water for just a week too long.
Found another one.
Turbo is it Turbo Dog? Have you ever seen any of the Turbo? I think it's Turbo Dog AI videos.
I don't think so.
Planet Mountain Dew. Does that ring a bell?
No, but I like it.
They have it's a series, okay, of futuristic wars, okay.
Okay.
And it's Planet Mountain Dew versus Planet Diet Coke.
Dark Chungus.
Dark Chungus.
Dark Chungus is one of the channels. AI made
look
TV.
up Planet Mountain Dew.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out for the yellow bottles. That's funny.
So, but click on that.
All right, fine.
Look at the characters.
At the what now?
Look at the characters. And tell me they don't remind you of late model Challengers.
Kind of just look like Americans to me, but all right. Yeah, I can see that. That's funny. You do hit your head on the roof. I do it all the time. It's terrible. Ugh.
Now you see, you talk about short greenhouse. There's a generation of Grand Cherokees. Kathy and I were literally just talking about that this afternoon, because I'm thinking about picking up something different. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's a generation of Grand Cherokees, and I believe it's like the 2006 is about the year.
Okay.
Okay, where they have a very short greenhouse.
It's around the time that everything they were making, every design they were turning out was going that way.
Well, I think they look really hot. Like the early Grand Cherokees are homely. You know what I mean?
You know, we had one we drove the hell out of for a long time with a 5.2.
Oh, they work great, but they're ugly.
But yeah, not my favorite looking thing. I much prefer the XJ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the XJ is just perfect.
Oh yeah.
But I like the 2006, that generation of XJs, not XJs, Grand Cherokees, specifically because they have that shorter greenhouse and they just look solid. They look like.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad looking. Some friends of mine have one of these that they've been driving for years. Yeah. The problem is your only engine options are 4.7, which is.
I know.
And then a modern Hemi.
I know.
I've been assured that there are some good 4.7s in the world, and I'll take their word on that. What is the chassis code on this? It doesn't say anywhere. The WJ, that's 99 that's the one right before this. I don't know what this is. New stuff.
Dude, we're over 2 hours already.
Yeah. We did it.
How do we do that so fast?
I don't know. It happens every time.
It does, right? Because we're like kids sitting around, yapping about Mopars. Let's just go through these questions real quick. If anybody, we're only going to hang around for another couple of minutes, guys. So if you have any good questions or statements or anything like that, now's the time to let them fly. Dizzy, hey Dizzy, what's happening, man? What was the first year for the 8 1/4 diff in the A bodies?
73?
1973.
Yeah, it came to the B body starting like 69, actually, didn't it?
Yeah.
Late 69. But yeah, 73 for A body. There are no small bolt 8 1/4s. They're all big, and that's 73. And there are no big bolt 8 3/4s. If you find one, someone made it.
No big bolt A body 8 3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry, did I need to specify that? Yeah, no
Yeah.
big bolt A body 8 3/4s.
And you can't just swap axles because the backing plate on the A body is different also.
Yeah, you need matching brakes.
Yeah.
A body, and the 8 3/4 drums are special, the skirted ones. Although the 74 Dart Sport I'm working on has a 7 1/4, and it has a pair of those skirted drums.
Somebody added them.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
They're both 10-inch, but I think the spacing in and out for the shoes is ever so slightly different. Bill Truitt, did you figure out what the 440 is in the truck you just drug home? Yeah, it's a 1973 low performance. I didn't pull the VIN off the block. It's probably a car engine of some kind. But yeah, it's just a standard 440, non-HP. And it's been rebuilt.
Dickie Farley saying it's a great live as always.
Thank you,
Dickie.
Much appreciated.
We try.
What size drum brake shoes for 72 Charger 318? Those would be 10-inch. But were there different widths of those?
No, you could have actually ordered a trailer towing with the 318.
Yeah.
And that would have come with 11-inch.
Right. Well, were they still doing 11-inch drums in 72?
Oh, 72?
72.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or would have just gotten discs. No, this is 72.
Oh, no, 72 is last year for drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But did they still have 11s?
Yes.
Because disc brakes were also available, obviously.
They were an option, but if you ordered, let's say, a 72 Charger Rally,
that would have discs.
It came with 11-inch drums.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That trailer tow option, that was a great one. That was a great bang for the buck option.
Okay, so how do you know real quick, right? And so you're walking up on a car and you want to know, is this a trailer tow package car? What do? You can tell at a glance.
You got me.
Brake light switch.
Oh.
You just poke your head up, look at the steering column.
Well, that's not at a glance. I mean, you gotta get in
Well,
there. You said walking up and taking a glance. Whatever.
Well, sometimes, you walk up on, I like to walk up on cars like this.
I like to crawl under them.
Charles S., thank you for the super chat.
God,
I'm cobbling together a third of a 70 Dart Swinger. 318 904 bench seat, no provisions for a column shifter. Any recommendations for an aftermarket floor shifter to work well with the bench?
Pick one.
Pick one. They'll all work well with the bench. The one, my go-to is the B&M.
Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
They're cheap. They're like $160-something. They look good. They're tall enough that well, actually, I've got one of them in Bottle Rocket with the bench seat.
Yep.
And it's absolutely perfect.
Works great.
I don't have the cover over it or anything like that, and it's cobbled together because it's a regular drive second first, and I've got to reverse my no valve body, so I welded on some detents.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way. Nice.
So no, I made detents for it. So now
cool. Yeah, it doesn't work that way out of the box.
No, it doesn't work that way out of the box. But I didn't want to spend $300 on a friggin' reverse
one.
shifter.
Yeah. Nice.
So what you do is when you pull it down in a first and you keep it pulled towards you a little bit, and then when you launch, you just move it over to the right a hair, and it comes back automatically into second. It has another detent, and then when it's high gear, you just pull it over a little bit, and then
nice.
Yeah, I made my own detents.
Nice.
I can't wait for me to be dead or whatever, and the next guy gets that car and tries to make it fun. No.
Nice. Cheap Seats said I should come up with a theme song. Already did several times. I used to have a theme song. I got rid of it.
What's this now? Franz Anton Mesmer. Explain tribute models to someone today. I don't know what that means.
I mean, like a tribute car, like I made an RT out of not an RT. Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know.
Explained tribute models to someone today. Past tense. He explained them to someone.
I don't know why even click on that.
Rooster, trailer tow cars didn't come from the factory with a hitch. They got all the goodies to be set up to tow, but you had to still get a hitch.
Correct. But one of the features of a trailer tow car is the heavy duty brake light switch.
Yeah.
So
to handle the extra load.
Right. So you may not necessarily be able to spot the springs and the different elements that are in it, like the. So it's got the bigger radiator support. Of course, it's got the AC core support even for a
26-inch
car.
Yep.
There's like lots of little things that they added for the trailer tow, but the easiest one to spot so that you're not confused that it had AC but didn't have it is just look for the brake light switch. The brake light switch is this big black cylindrical thing, and that's so that the regular switch didn't get fried when you attached brake lights to it.
Yeah. Chicken Joe, I'm going to try and make a slapstick work with an A-body console. I once wedged, we were talking about the B&M Mega Shifter with a bench seat. I put buckets in a car, my 70 Swinger, oddly enough, and I wedged a Mega Shifter into the A-body console. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work very well. Not without cutting things.
Yes, it did have a heavy-duty flasher module, but they're not easy to spot.
Right.
I was talking about at a glance, like you're in a field and you're looking at cars and you're like, oh, what's this and what's that? Well, if you want to know if it was, trailer tow, heavy duty, was this thing that has no more numbers on it or identification? Was this a muscle car or was it a trailer tow car? Take a quick look underneath the dashboard. The brake light switch will tell you.
There you go. I don't mind
Chicken
cutting
Joe
things.
does not mind cutting things.
Very good.
This is I needed to know that.
Yeah.
Has Exner lost it yet at this point? Well, we got sidetracked, but I was going to say is that
the XNR in 60. No, he hadn't lost it yet. Well, wait, hold on. When was his heart attack? 59?
He had the heart attack of 56.
The XNR is the asymmetrical, isn't
His
it?
car from 1960.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, he
in
lost it.
1956. He had pinned out the 1950. They were working on the 1959 cars when he had the heart attack. So he was out. When he came back in 57, they were working on the 61.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So, but at any rate, it was the most pivotal moment, the most important moment in the entire history of Chrysler Corporation, Mopar, and the reason we're sitting here today having this conversation about these cars was Virgil Exner's heart attack.
Yeah.
The most pivotal event in the history of Chrysler Corporation.
Downtown Power and Sound, which is also a name I recognize from my lives, asked, any hints for setting solid lifter clearances? How do you do that? Do you science it out and go 90 degrees? What do you do?
Say that again now?
When you're setting solid lifters, on a Chevy or whatever,
okay,
with your 273 rocker arms, what's your technique?
Number one cylinder compression.
Really?
Right? Or number one cylinder, all of the cylinders, top dead center compression.
Okay.
I know. The cam is loaded from the valve springs on the opposite side, so this is why you got to. I get that. It's all nonsense. That thousandth of an inch is not going to make any difference.
No.
I set the lash by what the cam calls for because different cams have different ramps, different. Right, so you go by whatever the cam manufacturer recommends for lash, and I set them one cylinder at a time, and I just roll around, top dead center compression stroke, intake exhaust, then go to the next cylinder. I don't bother going, okay, we hit this one to this. That was in the 70s. That was the thing. Every friggin' Mopar guy had to have the sticker on their firewall.
Yes,
right?
I keep seeing that sticker.
And they had to go through that procedure. You know what I mean? And I was like, no, I reject this.
I'm a real heathen. I don't even do what you said. I just start wherever I'm at. I roll the motor over and I just check them. Okay, yeah. And then I keep rolling. Okay, yeah. Off lift, off lift, off lift. I just go front to back until I'm sure I've touched them all, and then I check them all 2 more times.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered to count degrees or to dude, it does not have to be that scientific. Like, I just don't want to have to think that much.
You know what? One of the things I don't miss too many things from the Nitro days. Of course, it was a bore. Okay, it was a bad memory, bad trip. Okay,
Yeah.
I spent a dozen years there, and there's only two things that I look back on fondly from that whole episode, right? And that's it. Every time you warm one of these cars up, that transition from alcohol to nitro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just sitting there, and then you reach down and you turn on the fuel, and that transition, sweetest moment in the universe. There's nothing better than that.
Right.
But I miss setting the valves because it was like a moment of like, how can I explain it? It was like a Zen thing, right? And you set the valves on those engines so often, right?
Right.
There's just something about grabbing the breaker bar or grabbing the ratchet, rolling the motor over, watching the rockers do their thing, finding your cylinder, and then just sitting there and setting the lash, that the whole world just disappears. You got 50 people standing around looking at you, talking to you, asking you questions. You got chaos going on, people putting the clutch in the thing, people die. There's all sorts of stuff going on, but you're in this moment of mechanical zen, just pulling, rotate the motor, okay, watch the rockers, and I do miss that.
Yeah.
I do miss that.
Yeah. We could do it on a slant 6 too. It's a little different.
It's not the same because it doesn't have the stress and chaos involved.
Right.
Because the whole time you're doing that, your whole day at the track, your whole experience
juxtaposition
is nothing but stress and chaos.
Yeah.
So that moment of setting the valve lash is just zen, and I miss that.
War Ghost has asked us, what are the differences between a 66 Polara and Monaco, and which makes a better cruiser? Are there any meaningful differences between those two cars? Because if there are, I wouldn't know. I don't. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. The Dodge is always 2 inches longer than a Plymouth.
Well, aren't those both Dodges?
Wait,
Polara and Monaco. Those are both C-body Dodges.
I'm sorry. I heard Fury. I don't know.
No. Sorry. Polara and Monaco. There's just two trim levels on the same car, basically.
Yeah, the Monaco was the higher trim level.
Yeah.
There was one year they had like this tweed interior.
Huh.
Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like this basket weave sort of.
Interesting.
It might have been 65. But I believe it was just trim.
Yeah, as far as I know, those are the same car. I don't think there's any meaningful difference between them. Don't let a hardcore C-body guy hear me say that. I'll be getting an angry text from Tom in any minute.
Jump in there and actually give us like real.
Yeah. But that's my understanding. I have a tendency to just look at things by the chassis, by the car, by the important bits of the car. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People get all bent out of shape about the RT versus non-RT thing, or they're the same thing underneath, and that's the part I care about.
To me, it doesn't make a big difference. Okay, the only time I pay attention to stuff like that is when somebody attempts to clone a car. Now, I have no problem with clone. So I have a choice. Okay, I can have a real original, let's say Hemi Superbird, or I could have one that was built off of a Plymouth Satellite, and it has all the, I will take the one off the Satellite because I don't have to be a caretaker for that car. I'm not a caretaker. Other people are. They love this stuff, and this is what they want to do. They want to polish it and preserve it, and I'm not that person. I don't want to polish or preserve it. I want to beat it up, right? So I will always prefer for myself a clone or a tribute, whatever it is. But I'm a stickler.
It better be right.
It better be right, right? So if the original had, this exhaust bracket hanger on the rear bulkhead, well, you better have that on your tribute, or it's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah.
So that's.
I get it. Andrew Button asked if valves are easy to set on a B-van because of the removable doghouse. A lot of stuff's easy to do on a B-van because of the removable doghouse. But which engine in a B-van has valves that need lashed?
None.
Precisely.
None.
Were there ever slant 6 powered B-vans?
Oh, actually,
there were A-vans. I've never seen a B-van with a slant 6.
B-van definitely had slant 6.
Okay, so I've never seen one. So, that one, sure. There you go.
The Scumliner version of the B-van had a slant 6.
I have installed a slant six in an A van. You know how that's done, right?
Yeah,
Through the passenger door.
yeah, done them.
It's fun.
What was I going to say? The 273 was in
It was gone by
the A100s.
A van as well, yeah. That's a real easy. You just pop the thing open, trying to
Well
drop it
done.
on your head. Dude, my A108, the headliner, cardboard or whatever, fiberboard headliner was still there and it was sagging. So
Yeah.
I could just wedge the doghouse door against it and it usually wouldn't fall on my head.
Those things were just so primitive and perfect.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I did a couple videos on that early on. It was called the Banana Van.
Uh,
I think that was Maggie coming in the room, but out of the corner of my eye, it looked like a raccoon.
it's Winnie.
Oh, it is Winnie. Oh, it looks smaller
Yeah.
than Winnie. Hey, Winnie. Oh, she
Winnie,
loves me.
my little girl here is the 107th fastest border collie. 107 out of 470.
Wow.
We ran her at Fast Cat, yeah, and we just got her standings back, and she's what is she now, Kathy? She's 107 out of what? 107 out of 476.
Nice.
So the average 27.2, right? Yeah, 27 is her number. So
Rad.
yeah, so we got a fast dog.
Congratulations.
I am Daddy. Come to me. Come say hi to everybody. Say hello. Say hi to YouTube. Come here. Come here. Come here.
I had the pleasure of meeting Winnie, and she did not trust me ever. She would not stop yelling in my face.
Oh, Maggie?
No. Winnie wouldn't quit barking at me. Maggie loves me because I gave her breakfast.
Maggie, you remember Jamie?
She like jumped on the table and finished my breakfast for me. She's a
What's Winnie
sweetheart.
64? They don't go by that. And you know what? I tell you what, there's no acceleration thing for dogs. Like dogs are just 0 to their maximum speed. There's no building up to it. So a 60-foot time, maybe 60 inches would be a pretty accurate.
There you go.
But the Fast Cat is great. It's a 300-foot drag strip, and they chase a white plastic bag that's on a line.
Uh-huh.
So you bring your dog there, you set them up on the starting line. It's got a photo cell timer. You know,
This sounds really fun.
it's a blast. You have no idea. So the dog sits there and watches the white plastic paper, the white plastic bag that's tied to this thing, and then it moves, and you let go of your dog. The dog breaks the photo cell and chases it to the end of the 300 feet, and that's how you get your time. And Winnie is the 107th fastest out of 470 dogs.
Nice.
We're going for number one.
We're gonna get her there. We need a montage. We're gonna do it.
I'd love to do a dog channel at some point. At some point, I'm going to reach the end of the line with cars, man. I've done it's like 1,500 freaking videos. I've run out of stuff to talk about. At some point, I'm going to have to just say goodbye and do a dog channel.
It's a dog channel now, yeah. Dizzy Izzy has a Valiant that we both say can't exist? Or people in the comments say can't exist?
What's that now?
I don't know. I haven't seen... It's got a bunch of stuff deleted, apparently.
What?
I don't know. It's been an unfolding story in the comments.
Has it? Somebody give me... I really got to get off of here soon.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jamie has a life to live.
Yeah, I gotta go eat pizza. Oh, Dizzy Izzy has posted 2 videos. Okay, someone else was telling them this car doesn't exist.
Well, somebody give me the quick... Just real quick. Somebody
It's a Valiant. I don't know if it was a 66. I can't remember. We've talked about this car before in my live, I think. But ordered 273 4-speed on the floor, special order diff, and a bunch of stuff deleted. Like horn ring, backup lights, rear armrests, carpet. Huh.
Where are you seeing this?
It's way back in the comments. I had to scroll quite a ways.
And you can't...
No, I can't
like that.
highlight things. But I think I read it was a 66 Valiant.
Oh, here it is.
65 valve, 8 1/4 rear. Yeah, no, that can't exist. 8 3/4 rear can exist, but there were no 8 1/4s then. They did not exist. They were not made. You could have an 8 3/4.
66, 8 3/4 started popping it, but not in 65.
66. Well, apparently it says special order rear on the build sheet. So what would they have even been able to get for a special order rear?
A sure grip.
Uh-huh. It would be in a 7 1/4. 66 is when they
grip.
came? So a Formula S in 65 still has a 7 1/4.
Actually, Formula S in 66 has a 7 1/4 unless you special order.
Okay.
Right. The only 66 cars that came automatically with an 8 3/4 were the D darts.
Says on build sheet. Well, I've got a build sheet and it doesn't say what axle. It says a code that describes an axle. You said it says special order diff. I believe that. I've seen build sheets that say special order,
Special order diff would be a sure grip.
But does it say 8 1/4? Because I've never seen that. That doesn't make sense.
No, I'm sure the tooling for the 8 1/4 didn't even exist.
It could, if it existed, then why wouldn't it be in production already? It didn't. It started showing up in B bodies in 69.
Yes. Actually, it could be argued late 68.
Late 68.
Late 68 B bodies.
Really?
Yes.
Code for 8 1/4. Well, maybe that code didn't mean 8 1/4 in 1965.
Right. In 1965,
because that didn't exist.
The tooling for the 8 1/4 didn't exist. That's just impossible.
So I don't know what the build. I don't know those codes on build sheets, but whatever code your sheet says, you may have found something online that says, "Oh, that's for the 8 1/4." But it could have been different in 1965, just like the engine codes in the VIN changed over the years.
Oh, here. Okay, I've got it right here. Delete horn.
Yeah.
Horn ring? No, there is no such thing as horn delete. Horn ring, the basic car,
it would just have a button.
Would just have a button.
Wouldn't have a ring.
Backup lights were not standard until
you'd have
1966.
You'd have to order those anyway,
you
so you wouldn't have to delete
lights.
them. And same with the radio. There's no such thing as radio delete. There's either you ordered a radio or you didn't, or the dealer that ordered your car or whatever. You had to pick one. There was no default choice. You had to pick a radio or no radio.
Okay, rear armrests. The base trim cars
wouldn't
did
have
not
them
have
either.
armrests.
I was thinking that. Yeah.
Sway bars, none of them had sway bars.
They didn't have those.
Didn't exist. There's no such thing as a sway bar.
It did not exist.
An early A.
So that was not.
Carpet was another option.
But it would have rubber mats.
It would have rubber mats.
It would have something. It would have rubber mats. Yeah.
Radio was an option. Lighter was an option. AC was an option. Power brakes were an option. Power steering was an option.
When were power brakes always available in A's?
Yes. And it's a very unusual setup that has a
the thing. Yeah.
This is just a basic.
It's a stripper Valiant with a 273 4-speed.
All standard stuff.
And the only question is what axle is actually supposed to be in there.
I'm telling you, 7 1/4.
7 1/4 with a sure grip.
Possible option for 1965.
That's interesting. See, I didn't know what year they came to A bodies.
Yeah, a 273 4-speed Formula S would have had a 7 1/4.
Okay.
Unless you ordered an 8 3/4 and it was only mid-year. The only
mid-year 66
cars that automatically came in were D darts.
Gotcha. Okay.
And those used. I could be wrong. I was going to say something about the brakes, but I'm not sure, so I won't say that. Tony supports Freedom. Yes, I do. I think Freedom is good. Jamie, do you think Freedom is good?
I'm a big fan of Freedom.
We both approve of Freedom. Go figure.
Yeah. How about that?
Let's see.
I think it's about pizza time.
It is about pizza time, right? Jamie, what do you want? First, let's thank all of the people here who've joined us because they could have spent their time anywhere else. I'm sure
doing so many other things.
Many other things that they could be doing, that they probably should be doing, but instead they're hanging out with Here.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much. You have no idea how grateful we are for you.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Jamie, what do you have to talk about?
I don't know. I'm going to do a video people have been asking for forever, a follow-up on my 69 Charger tomorrow on my channel, which I haven't started editing yet.
And
I should get on
Fubar,
that.
just put up the link for any of you guys who aren't subbed to Jamie. Dead Dodge Garage, go over there, sub, ring the bell, and all of those things.
Yes.
And then you put up the link to my merch, UncleTarly'sGarage.com. Thank you, Fubar, as always. Okay, what else is there?
Nothing good. It's getting weird. It's time to pull the plug.
Weird time, right? When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro already. So, yes, Fubar, thank you, my brother. Mexican Stack, I saw Zero was in here for a while. Guys, thank you so much. Everybody contributed. Super Chat, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Never expected, but always appreciated. Everybody contributed with just your presence and your conversation. Thank you equally. We love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and best mechanic on Staten Island, he left. He lives in Murfreesboro, Tennessee now. And that's it. I think we're going to pull a plug.
We did it.
We did it.
Nailed
all right,
it.
guys. Thank you all. And tomorrow night, Sunday night, Kathy and I will do our usual Sunday Night Live, 7 o'clock. So I know we'll see a bunch of you guys there. Thank you. I'm going to pull a plug, man. Ready?
Bye now.
All right. See you guys later.
No beret.
Mopar to you.